Bombers for McDonald's Remote Water. Triple M Rocks Footy not far away from game time. 15 minutes to go. Marvel Stadium. The Bombers up against the Gold Coast Suns. And put your hand up in here if you've done TV in your time and you've actually just tried to walk into the commentary box of the TV studios only to realise it wasn't your network doing the programming.
That happened to me before. How do you know? You've been dobbed in.
A couple of text messages going around that Lee Montagna walked into the commentary box at Channel 7 expecting to call the footy, but it wasn't Fox.
There's a bit of mayo on that. I thought it was a Fox game, so I thought I'd go in to see who it was, and then I walked in and Luke Darcy and Tim Watson both just stared at me and gave me nothing. So
I walked into the 3AW box last week, Nath, and they wanted me to stay.
Okay, first time today as we see the Bombers coming out onto the field. We're going to welcome Ash Chua for Triple M Red Z Lending Stats. Ash, how are you, pal?
Yeah, good afternoon, Brownie. Great to be here. Look at the Gold Coast Suns. They have the worst record of any team at this very venue. Only 27% win-loss. Never defeated the Bombers here at Marvel on 5 occasions. But you look at Essendon, just some positives from round one against Hawthorn. Their goal-kicking spread, they racked up 13 goal kickers, which was the most number of goal kickers in a game by the Bombers since round one 2013. Their ball movement, they went at 43% from converting D50 chains into inside 50 entries. Now that's 21 above the league average, and they generated 39 points from their D50 as well, which is the AFL average is only 13. But for the Suns, we'll just zone in on their pressure, Brownie. They had 24 less tackles than the Swans last week, 51 less disposals, 10 players registered one tackle or less. In fact, 5 didn't even lay a tackle. Triple
M Red Z Lending Stats. Now, Ash,
Yep.
You weren't at the footy last week, but you made the comment that it was one of the first times you were able to sit at home and actually watch the footy.
Yes, it's quite refreshing, actually, Brownie. Not that I'm saying I'm ready to throw in the towel with this particular gig here. I treasure it, as you know. But no, it was nice, and even better, Kangaroos had a nice win last week against West Coast and backed it up last night as well.
How good are the Kangaroos going? The Spar's up and running.
Oh, yes, we're a bit jaded today as we speak.
This is the Triple M footy prime time for Jim Beam. It's set to be an epic match, and that's worth raising a Jim Beam. Drink responsibly. Let's head to the back row. We've got Stevie Jate and also Daisy Thomas. Let's talk about this game. Obviously, there's a big expectation on what the Bombers did last week and what the Suns did deliver for the Bombers to win.
I'm slightly concerned about the Bombers still, Stevie. I just don't know exactly how much we can read into that form line of last week beating Hawthorn. They trailed at quarter time in that one, and the Hawks were outplaying them. Half time, they were 16 points up against an opposition that really isn't up to it currently for long enough. And then, yes, they did get on top, and it fell away pretty quickly for the Hawks. But I just don't know. I don't know if you can take that on trust yet, if that is a good enough form line. Obviously, on the other side of the coin there, it's the Gold Coast Suns who come up against the Sydney Swans, who we know are a seasoned professional outfit. So that result shocked me more than the Essendon result. I'm going to tip the Gold Coast Suns here today, Stephen.
Yeah, I'll go against you with the tip, Daisy. I think Essendon will have to come out. They can't be complacent after 1 week, and I'm sure Brad Scott would have been drilling that into them. And they would have spoken about the positives of last week and how their defensive system was an improvement, and they were able to score off turnover. But it's also got to be keeping a very level head on this group of players, because after 1 week, that doesn't mean you've done everything.
What do you want to see from the Bombers in regards to their ball movement, boys? Because last week we saw Essendon wanting to look like control the ball, and they wanted to make sure that they didn't turn it over. But they actually played their best footy when they did go quick, and they were able to run and carry through the midfield and get some good looks forward. So what's the balance today you want to see, Stevie?
I just thought they had some really good method last week. I thought they played what was in front of them. So they've just got to adjust to the way the Gold Coast Suns want to defend. If they get opportunities to go really fast and cut through them, I think that certainly suits Essendon. But if the Gold Coast Suns want to sit back and protect their D50 like the Hawks did last week, well, then you've got to be measured, and you've got to take your uncontested marks and set it up and get the ball in deep, and then defend on the back of that and score off turnover.
Do you feel like over his career, Archie Perkins, who's playing half forward at the moment, doing a great job of it, do you feel like he's going to become a midfielder?
I think he's going to be probably one of the best half-forward flankers in the game within the next 12 months. And then they'll have a decision to make. Do you keep a player that's so talented forward of the footy who can hit the scoreboard, or do you bring him into the midfield where he's only going to be pushing out a Parrish or someone of the like.
I'd love to see them, as you're saying, have him at half forward, but when you bring that sixth forward up at times through the midfield, when you do need an extra number or you do need a lift in there, have him as that sort of player. I just think with his frame at the minute, if you put him in there with some of the big bulls in the competition, he'll get found out in and around the contest. So if you do it that way, you sort of massage him into that equation rather than just throw him in the deep end.
Gold Coast Suns for much of last year were the number one pressure side in the competition, and their pre-season so far has been pretty ordinary. Round one, their pressure was way down. Where are they at, and how do they beat the Bombers today?
Where they're at, we don't really know. As a complete organisation, we're still kind of confused as to have they improved at all on what they delivered last year. They were a chance to play finals if things went well in the last month. Obviously, that didn't happen. And what we've seen this year, they haven't arguably improved that much. So it is only round two. We probably give them a do-over from their round one loss to the Sydney Swans, who we all believe are going to be a really good outfit. I'm really confident in what they can bring today. I just think that hunting around the ball, that's their one wood. And if they're good enough to win it and not let Essendon get on top in that area, they'll find that spread, they'll find that ball movement going forward. And I think they can hit the scoreboard quite heavily against an Essendon defence that I've still got some question marks over.
So, Daisy, their contest and pressure at the Gold Coast Suns is their one wood, as you said, but it must be nice to have someone like Lockie Weller back after his ACL injury, because the one thing they probably do lack is that little bit of flair on the outside, that real sort of bit of run that some other teams are having. That's what he's going to provide.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be getting up and down the wing, you'd imagine, for most of the game. And even when he does go through the middle, you're right, he comes out of stoppage, he uses his legs, but he's happy to have a go at his kicks through the corridor and bite off a little bit more than some of the other younger players who are going to be a touch safe. I'm also looking really forward to seeing Ainsworth and Rao go at it today in that midfield. We expect them to continue to grow in their development as AFL footballers, but today's a perfect opportunity to them to stand up for their footy club.
There's certainly no excuses for the Gold Coast Suns from here on in, I don't think. I think if you look at their list, there's at least 17 players I can count just here on the team list that have played 50-plus games of football. So, you know, you could make excuses early on when they're inception into the competition and, you know, some of the struggles they've had early on. But now that experience is around them, you know, that we expect more from them.
Daisy, Choice Hotels around the grounds?
Yes, the Sydney Swans have just kicked another one. They are now leading the Hawthorn Footy Club 13-12-90 to 2-9. 27.
Yeah, it's about a 76-point lead up there at SCG. Logan McDonald just kicked
21.
his fifth. Joel Armadi's got 4 as well.
Throw that back to Chew Man from now on. When we do
They
that.
went to a break. Man was out looking
They went
at
to an
it.
ad break because you asked me. I had no chance.
Hey, Bob Jane T-Marts have great buy through, get one free deals plus instant cashback. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply as a rubber.
Yeah, well, sounds like Jake Stringer's on track in the VFL, which is good news for the Bombers. But I'm a bit flat. The tipper's not out there because he ran on and just gave the crowd unbelievable excitement at the MCG. So he's out with that quad soreness. So he's being managed. The late change, Sam Wiedemann out, stubbed his toe. He's been walking around in a moon boot all week, so he hasn't come up. The knuckle of the big toe is quite swollen, so he's out. Dan Ambrosio is in to that side. Great that Lockie Weller is back in after that ACL. Round 12 last year against North Melbourne. To come back after 9 months, he's obviously put the work in. The subs are Guelphy and Alex Sexton. Average crowd usually around 28,000. The record 34,000. I reckon they'll have a reasonable crowd here, the Bombers, so they're going okay. Bombers favourite. They should win, Brownie.
You can now stream every game of Triple M Footy live on the Listener app. Download it now, LISTNR.
Stevie, no Sam Wiedemann, as Robbo just told us. Gia told us earlier that Sam Draper is going to spend more time forward. How important is that match up with Sam Collins? Because Essendon 13 goal kickers last week, as Chu told us. They're going to rely on their smalls. Is it important to try and nullify Sam Collins' influence and his intercept marking? Is that something that Essendon would be identifying as a key in today's game?
Oh, for sure. And I think he does give you a big presence in the contest. Whenever the ball was kicked to Draper last week, forward of the footy, he looked imposing. And he didn't quite capitalise on a couple of occasions, but he hits the packs hard and he'll certainly give those crummers every chance.
Is there one other person that's just catching your eye out here, watching both teams warm up, particularly the Gold Coast Suns down here? Is there anyone that's catching the eye, Steve?
There's actually 2 blokes catching my eye out there for the Gold Coast Suns, and it's 2 of their staff members, and they've both got the baldest melons. So you get Stephen King down there, who looks like he's lost about 15 kilos, looks like he's been running a few Ks, and at the other end, down in the forward line, you look at Reece Shaw down there. He's been humming around on the lead for every player that wants to have a kick inside 50.
Looking fit, Reece Shaw. Moving well.
That's what you get at Triple M in the back row. Triple M C-Bus Super Special Comments, not far away from this one. Wanted to ask you a question, Daisy, about Massimo D'Ambrosio. Comes back in, burst onto the scene last year early. His use of the football at half-back was outstanding, but then fell out of favour a bit. Obviously didn't play round one, but he's got a chance again today.
Yeah, and I think probably it was in and around just his ability to go from offence into that defensive transition, playing a lot of VFL footy, then coming into the big time. Probably got away with it for a couple of weeks on the back of him using the ball really well and then going forward. But as we saw as time went on, just those little lapses in concentration are what kills you at this elite level. You don't have to switch off for too long for an opposition to expose you. So no doubt that's something he's been working on over the pre-season. He gets his opportunity today. We hope he makes the most of it.
Ream Hot Water built tough Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. Stevie, looking down there and having a look at Matty Rowell. 9 Brownlow votes in his first 3 games. Hasn't hit the same heights since. Got a lot of injury issues the last 18 months, but I thought his first game last week he got a fair bit of the football, but the big question mark is, can he get the ball on the outside?
Yeah, we know what a good player is inside. He's an inside bull. He's got a lot of strength in there, and he burst onto the scene. I think early on in his career, when he did burst onto the scene, he was able to hit the scoreboard as well, which is something that's probably lacked. He's played the 40 games now and only kicked the 10 goals. So he must have kicked them really early on. So that just shows you that he's not getting the ball on the outside as much as they would like.
Ash might tell us for Triple M Red Z Lending Stats how many goals he did kick in those first few games. Only about 4 minutes at the moment away from this. Let's wrap up the last 3 and a bit minutes with who wins and why.
I'm going to be tipping the Gold Coast Suns. I think we need to get a response out of them from what they dished up last week. I still don't know exactly where they are as an organisation, but I still had them at the start of the season higher than the Bombers when I did my ladder predictor, and were able to do that for the 3.5 months of pre-season. So therefore, just purely on that basis, I think they'll be good enough to win today. The query on the Bombers is, what did they win from last week? What did they actually learn? Did a few things get swept under the carpet? Because for a half against Hawthorn was certainly in that game, and as we've seen today up there at the SCG, they're well below the level.
Yeah, I'm going against you there, Daisy. I think Essendon, as I said, they can't be complacent after that first week of footy. They did look more organised in behind the ball defensively, which has been the question mark over them for a long period of time. I'd like to see Gold Coast come at them, really hard at them, get into Merritt, get into Shield early, make it a real dogfight in there and be competitive. I think they would be disappointed in their effort last week in round 1, and Stuart Dew would want them coming out in this first 10 minutes of the game, giving everything they've possibly got. But I think just with the Essendon team, what I've seen last week, I know it was against opposition that wasn't quite up to it, but they look good enough for me to
what sort of margin?
The Gold Coast.
You're bullish on the Bombers.
I'm thinking the Bombers can win this by 40 plus.
Wow. Okay.
Ash, Triple M Red Z Lending Stats.
Yeah, Matty Rowell. So he kicked 6 majors in his first 4 games. So 6 out of his 10 majors in regards to his career. First 4 matches for Rowell.
Looking forward to seeing Ben King too, having the run under his belt, coming back from that ACL injury. He's obviously the big focal point. They've dropped Marby or Chol, which means they're just a little bit smaller down there. So it'll be Levi Casbolt and Ben King with Joel Jeffrey and a few small. So you like that balance a bit better for the Gold Coast forward line?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that just brings an opportunity, obviously, to find a target. But if that doesn't go there, pressure in and around to either have a shot and goal if you can crumb it. Also, build some pressure and keep the ball locked in your forward half. We know how big territory is in this game.
Or as Stevie said, Mario Chol. Let's head down to the boundary. Bob Jane team march, Robbo.
Yeah, the toss. Jared Witts, the captain, Gold Coast wins it against Zach Merritt. Going right of screen, mate.
Full disclosure too, Stevie couldn't answer that question because he had a face full of meat pie.
Ash, Triple M Red Z Lending Stats. We've got a crowd in. You're very good at this.
Crowd, I reckon we're nudging about 29,000, Brownie.
We're about a minute away from the first bounce at Marvel Stadium. The Bombers up against the Gold Coast Suns. The Triple M Beacon Trade Scoreboard supporting tradies over 120 stores, a wide range of electrical products and lighting, and expert trade teams offer the best service, making every tradie's job easier. Looking forward to seeing how Harrison Jones goes. I think with the forward line to control himself, he's a young player looking ready to go. So I can't wait to get this one underway. 30 seconds is Lee Montagna for Triple M footy.
Looking forward to the big matchup between the 2 big bulls in the ruck, Jared Witts and Sammy Draper, or Scotty, as Nathan Brown likes to call him.
Big Phillips has gone forward too for the Bombers, obviously to replace Wiedemann down there.
Will Setterfield in the centre bounce with Parrish and Merritt. He was very good last week, Will Setterfield. That big-bodied mid that they were looking for. Rowell, Anderson and Toot Miller. That's their best combination for the Suns. The countdown clock hits 0 for McDonald's. Of course, Macca's for 10 chicken McBites, just $3. What a one-handed grab that is. The McDonald's Marine Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy, Sunday afternoon underway here at Marvel, and it's the Bombers at the first clearance, and it's Merritt and Parrish waxing. Parrish has kicked towards half forward, right on Durham. Running back with a fly to the footy, quickly gives it off to Merritt, who's going to stream inside 50, lowers the eyes and into the pocket. Finds Jai Menzies. What a start for the Bombers. He'll have a shot 30 metres out up against the boundary.
Geez, that was sharp on Merritt, wasn't it? Centre bounce clearance and then followed up, got around the back and just lowered his eyes perfectly to the man in the space in the pocket.
If you don't tag Merritt, good luck. The new skipper, he broke the tag of Finn McGuinness last week. Young Jai Menzies, game number 4, didn't screw the ball around the body, hit the belly, won't even register a score, into the pocket. And Charlie Ballard's wrapped up, we'll have a ball up. Bombers kicking to the left of the broadcast.
Quickly into the air, Parrish opportunity, almost run down. Now the Suns clear the footy. It's a nice kick too. Sets a task here. Can they get the ball towards centre wing? Paddling the ball out. Nice work. Trying to get there was Laverde. Lukosius was good. Coming and picking up the football was Holman. He's caught holding the ball. And the umpire said yes. And Redman gets up and push and shove. I like the aggression that Redman shows.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. He's one of the few A-graders I think they have on their list right at the moment. And a terrific effort by Guelphy there to get out and cause that 50-50 ball to buy time for Redman to make that tackle.
Holman just going with a blonde rinse out the back on the tails. Down towards half forward, and Witts comes in and takes a strong mark at centre half back and leads off it everywhere, goes around the back to Took Miller.
Miller hits Lukosius, just back of the wing. Broadcast side, Miller continues to run on, so gives it back. And this time he wants to kick a low ball to Casbolt. It was at his shoelaces. Did well to pick it up, but then the handball was coughed up. And the Bombers will flick it around. Parrish, Ridley. This is at half back now. McGrath. And he's going to switch it because he sees some numbers on the outer side. It's a good kick. Zirk Thatcher, who had his best game of his career in Bombers colours last week, goes wide, finds Jake Kelly. And they want to get the ball moving. D'Ambrosio. Short little ball. Nice pass to Menzies. And now McGrath, you can certainly see Essendon want to get a bit of speed on this game, and the kick from McGrath is a shocker out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, Witts got back in the hole there, and I think he looked up and seen that he couldn't bomb the ball into the forward 50, so he tried to go for the wider one and just missed it.
So Lockie Weller to bring the ball back in. So deep half back, and he goes back in the defensive 50. Can they switch the ball here? The Suns, that's a nice ball to centre half back, and the mark taken by Collins. Gives it off. Now they go wide. Mark taken by Elijah Hollins. On centre wing, just inside the boundary, another short ball. And Lukosius has been busy early. Still on centre wing, the Suns. It's a slow build-up. Witts long down the line, calling for the footy with the hand in the air. That's an attacking kick, and it's a good kick too. Ainsworth moves the ball in the middle. Weller, who started it all, will go inside forward 50. Long high ball out the back. Wasn't a great kick. Phillips is the first man back there, just clunks the ball away with hope, and D'Ambrosio will usher it over the boundary line and we'll have a boundary throw in. Poor entry from Weller.
Already see the intent from Essendon, though, to take a mark but get the handball received, try and open up that Gold Coast defence with speed of ball movement.
3.5 minutes played, neither team yet to score, but both teams looking to move it quick. So hopefully we have an entertaining game here from the stoppage. Anderson's handball doesn't go far at all. Setterfield, handball back to Parrish, who got a lot of ball last week, started well in this one, kick wide, out of bounds. Contest between Weller and Langford. Half forward for the Gold Coast Suns.
Setterfield looks like he's going with a quasi run-with role there on Took Miller.
Phillips and Witts. Witts, who always gets his hand on the ball. That's a nice tap down to Swallow, the veteran. Throws it on the left boot, inside 50. McGrath in front's going to get the free kick.
He's got players wide and he moves the ball quickly. And it's fisted away out there. Well done by Swallow. The ball out of bounds in front of Merritt.
That is an interesting matchup. I know Settlefield's had a terrific pre-season, but I don't think that he'll be able to keep up with Took Miller.
Keep an eye on that. Ash for Triple M Red Z Lending as the day goes on. Boundary throw in. Witts takes it out of the ruck on the bounce and gets it inside forward 50, and Lukosius goes back and takes a strong mark over McGrath, and he's been in everything so far, Ash.
He has leading ball winner for the Suns. This will be disposal number 3, and he's also taken 3 marks.
Really good work rate. We've seen him get up the ground to provide that option as a release kick coming out of the D50 on that occasion, just in the right spot. Good little bit of craft against the mismatch there in McGrath.
So he's 11-13 from set shots. He's a beautiful field kick, often doing the kicking out. Jack Lukosius to open it up for the Suns. About 45 out, 45-degree angle. Kick on the way. Umpire did some work, but he's happy. First blood to the Suns, 1 straight 6. The Bombers yet to score. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
He hit the nail on the head there with his work rate there, Daisy. That was a terrific kick earlier that he tried. He set the Suns up with you. He will test the Essendon defence, because if he sees a target through the middle of the ground, he is not afraid to pull the trigger. And that was a great kick inside a little bit earlier, and a terrific finish then for the goal.
Just goes to show the importance of really good forward 50 pressure. Essendon won that ball back. They had the release kick out on the half-back flank there, but just a hand in there caused another stoppage, and on the back of that stoppage, that's why they get the goal. So well done to the Gold Coast Suns.
A couple of repeat entries, get the ball in their front half. That's what Stewie Jew wants to see from his Suns this afternoon. Good start for them. Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Draper, Witts again wins the tap down to Tuke Miller there, Setterfield. That matchup Stevie J told us to keep an eye on. Bone-crunching tackle. Bit stiff on Miller.
Had much time there.
Had no time. The umpire blew the whistle, and it'll be Setterfield from inside the centre circle. Under a bit of pressure, high ball into the pocket. Gold Coast get numbers back. Langford with the pick-up. Well done, Elijah Hollins. Picked it off him, and then along the boundary line. Tiptoes along, and again it's Lukosius, who, as Brownie just said, starting really well. Takes a mark on his chest, just back of the wing. And will continue to hug the boundary line. There's Ben King's first involvement. Did well, couldn't take the mark. Was able to mop up at ground level. Handball, Constable, Weller, and now Lukosius again around the body towards half forward. Redmond's in that contest. Tuke Miller working hard, front and square. Got it to Joel Jeffrey. Came off the bench. Sees Anderson pushing forward. Clever kick into the pocket. Nice ball movement from the Suns. And Noah Anderson will have a shot 30 metres out on a tough angle, but a player like him, he should be able to try and slot this either around the body or a drop punt.
The Bombers just got really flat on defence. They're allowing that space out the back. Every lead from a Gold Coast Sun player there when they looked up was heading directly back towards goal. So usually we see the Bombers organised, as you said last week, Stevie, Redmond or someone like that, just patrolling as that extra, not on that occasion.
Another Gold Coast Sun midfielder that can add this string to his bow, hit the scoreboard more often. The young star looks fit. Sprays it across the face of goal, just sneaks through from behind. Good start for Gold Coast, 1-1-7. Bombers yet to score. We've played 7.5 minutes. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So really to do the kicking in. This goes with the short one to McGrath. Not 15, you heard the umpire. So he blasts the ball outside the defensive 50, looking for Heppel. Fisted away from him by Swallow at the boundary throw-in. Anything jumping out early for Triple M Red Z Lending, Ash?
Yeah, McGrath's been busy for the Bombers. He's racked up 5 disposals, but Suns leading the entries 4-2 inside 50s.
Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. Boundary throw in half forward for the Suns. Draper worked his way to the front, got the tap down. Merritt at ground level, shovels one out. Redmond overran it, went back, got it. It was a hard clash coming in from the Suns. That was Tuke Miller been in everything so far. Setterfield's handball was knocked down. And Ainsworth sits on top of it, and the umpire will ball it up. You see the Harvey Norman replay, a big clash between those two. Huge run-out deals, LG TVs, 2022 models at Harvey Norman while stocks last.
Ball up inside 50, Rao doing what he does best in the shoebox. Shovels out a little handball, squirts out towards the pocket. Shield, started on the bench, gets his first touch, although just throws it on the boot without looking. Picked off by Darcy McPherson. Now making himself a position as a small defender, so not quite cutting it as a small forward. Goes to a dangerous spot in the ground, and then Elijah Hollins just worked Durham under the footy, and then in the end has taken an easy chest mark 30 metres out straight in front.
There's been big raps on this kid for a couple of years now. We know he had the ACL early on in his days there, but yeah, very big raps, and he's always been a midfielder that can push forward and kick goals.
And he's got huge upside, Elijah Hollins. Top 10 draft pick a couple of years ago. Cemented himself a spot late last season. looking to build on it, makes no mistake. Good start, Gold Coast. They're 2-1-13. Bombers yet to score. Nearly 10 minutes gone in this first term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard before we get the boys. Two-man, Choice Hotels around the ground. Game at the SCG.
Sydney leading the Hawks by 96 points. 17-15, 117 to Hawthorn. 2-9-21, 6.5 to go before full time. Hawthorn's last goal came at the 1.5 minute mark into the second term.
A little bit of a set play there from the Gold Coast Suns outside their 50. A lot of teams just blasting long to the hot spot. That was a pulled kick, so they got every player almost in line directly behind the man on the mark. And then as McPherson looked up, he saw that big pocket of space. I think the intended target was Lukosius, who comes into screen late on the Harvey Norman replay. But Elijah Hollins, well done there. Good enough to finish.
His Ash is forgetful that North Melbourne were part of those games last year. You've asked him to score, and he's gone, Jesus.
Oh, bit of an inflection there.
The McDonald's from Water, Triple M Rock Footy will ball it up again in the middle.
It's never personal, Brownie.
So it's a 96-point lead up there to the Swans at the SCG. They have hit the ground running in 2023. Rao talking hit the ground running. The Suns are up and about at the moment. They're 13 points in front. They're inside forward 50 again. Fumble the ball. Allows the Bombers in. They clear the area towards centre wing. High up and under ball and a really good mark. Well judged by McPherson. McPherson on centre wing. He's got players calling for it in the middle. He looks in there. It looks a bit dangerous. So he elects not to, and he goes back down the line. In from the side, and a good mark taken by Laverty.
They had numbers back there, Essendon, and he's just had to wait another half a second. He could have been able to take that ball back off the line and hopefully go around the traffic.
It's now with Ridley, who tells the Bombers defenders that want a lateral ball. No, we're looking to go forward, not going to go sideways. So he hits a little short kick to McGrath,
in the back, Essendon.
who got pushed in the back. So he'll get the free kick. The advantage will be paid. Here's Laverde from half back, goes towards the wing. Gold Coast have got the numbers. McPherson started well, sees that ball out of bounds. In front of the interchange gates.
They have had a tendency to go backwards often, the Bombers, when they're under pressure. They're under pressure early.
Now Anderson comes back onto the field. Tuke Miller has a spell. How many touches for Tuke Miller early? Red Z Lenders.
He's had 4 touches.
Casbolt in the ruck. Witts comes to the bench. Casbolt gets his hand on the ball, taps it down to Rao, but Merritt is on him this time. Lays the tackle. Secondary stoppage. Gold Coast doing all the attacking. Lead this one by 13 points. Rao again tries to get the clearance, and again he's wrapped up by Merritt. Got the arms free, although the ball didn't fall far now. A hard footy to win. Well done, Perkins. Shoveled it out. And now the Bombers through. Heppel finds Alvin Davey. Mark's been paid. And then, gee, that's a bit unlucky on Ben Long. It was touch and go, whether first of all the kick was 15, and then second of all whether it may have hit the turf. And Ben Long wasn't sure, overstepped the mark, and the umpire red hot paid the 50.
Well, it was a really classy kick by Heppel, wasn't it? Just to hit a low snap like that with a pass to get the 15 metres, and an opportunity here now for Essendon to kick their first.
Alvin Davey Jr., 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. Had some really nice moments on his debut last week, including a goal for the first of the Bombers. Across the face, doesn't even score. And the mark's taken by Collins right up against the left-hand point post.
Collins short ball to Weller. Weller in the goal square is defending to McPherson. McPherson's got a runner, and that's Fiorini. Fiorini in and out of the side, gets a lot of the football when he's in there. Ainsworth went back, got it. Handball was good. Now can the Suns build? McPherson, the centre half back. Swallow, can they keep it moving? Goes lateral Weller. Essendon have held him up nicely here.
Outside 5. Play on.
So Weller another short ball.
Stand. Play on.
It's a slow build up by the Suns, but it's methodical. And they get it to Rao. Rao got players on the outer side. One of those was Swallow, who kept running. He had Fiorini out. Took a bit too long, couldn't quite get it to him. Now he goes with a kick inside, 450 to lead. King couldn't mark the ball. Davey picked it up cleanly. Handball. Miss Martin, though. Going back in, trying to pick up the football. Was Allwood back inside forward 50 in the Bombers through Zirk. Thatcher probably should have marked that, fisted it away. Durham an opportunity. He spun it, dropped it, lost it, went back, sat on it. Umpire circles him, and he's going to ball it up.
Interesting stat early, boys. The Gold Coast Suns have taken 18 uncontested marks to Essendon's 8.
The ball up inside 50. Gold Coast attacking again. They're going to get a free kick. It's going to be Malcolm Rosas. High tackle.
Malcolm.
A good early start for the Gold Coast. They could get their third. Just building the pressure. Take a look at the Harvey Norman replay. It's against Massimo D'Ambrosio. Light tackle on Roses.
Yeah, just a reach in. Wasn't close enough to put the shoulder in, just reach with the arms.
So young Malcolm Roses. A live wire in the forward pocket to get the Gold Coast third. And he misses. That's a bad miss. Let off for the Bombers. 2-2-14 are the Suns. Essendon yet to score. Just over 9 minutes remaining in this first half. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So Ridley to do the kicking in. Gets himself 10 metres and looks for Redmond. Good mark by Redmond. He was up against Casbolt, who's much bigger than him. And he stood tall and got the ball moving quickly. Fisted away though. Witts came in, missed him. Shield with a sweeping handball by Shield to Martin. Martin to Davey. Davey's got to run on the outside. Feeds it now. Tap the ball back to Martin and it just ran away from him in the end and the ball's out of bounds of a boundary throw in. Bombers yet to score. 2-2-14 the Suns. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Inside 50s, 10-3 the Suns' way. Top two ranked players are the Gold Coast Suns players, 6 to Lukosius and 6 to McPherson.
What about the pressure, too, man? Seems like the Gold Coast Suns all over the Bombers at the minute.
Geez, last 10 minutes again at 209. The AFL average is 180.
Shield, clever handball over the head to Heppel, releases him on that left boot, goes inside 50, Jones and Collins in a one-on-one. Ball trickles out of bounds.
Keep us Triple M Red Z lending stat on how many times Ash goes with G's at the start of his stat.
I'm excited for Andy, start of the season.
Tuke Miller's come on fresh here and Setterfield hasn't left the ground, so watch him for the next 5 minutes.
Witts is going to go up against Langford inside 50 in this ruck contest. Miller tried to go off the ground. Kick ricocheted, fell to Fiorini. We'll have another stoppage, still inside 50 for the Bombers. They haven't spent too much time down this end of the field in this first quarter. Halfway through it, they trail by 19. Can they get something going here? Langford squeezed out a little kick only as far as Hewland. His kick smothered. Alvin Davey wrapped up. A lot of numbers around this football. Still just on the ground inside 50 for Essendon. And Hewland again just throws it on the boot. But Essendon have the numbers.
And they win it back through Laverty. Chain of handballs to Redmond. He loads up from 60. That's a long bomb. Does it get all the way? It bounces into the goal score opportunity. Live ball, but through for one behind. And David Roden signals. First score to the Bombers. They're one behind. 2-2-14. The Suns 13-point lead.
Lockie Weller will do the kicking in. He's got the big boys on this broadcast side, so he'll kick it long towards them. Witts will fly, so will Casbolt. Staying down at ground level, Fiorini. Forward handball, just shovels it into space. Essendon first to mop it up. Shield, back to Redman, who goes looking for Jones. Took the mark in between two. He's got Langford working in space, so is Alvin Davey, but the Suns do well. They get numbers back here. So Harry Jones forced to hold it up. Man on the mark, 55 metres out. Who's going to be the target down forward? He kicks to the top of the square. Big pack of players. Lurking was long. Wrapped up.
I don't really understand that from Harry Jones there. If you don't have the distance in, you go back quickly and get it in there rather than allowing the Gold Coast Suns. Everyone bar 4 of their players got back inside D50 then with the delay on the ball.
Ball up, Jones and Witts. Quick kick out of the pack by Miller. Bouncing ball opportunity. Out to the side to Durham. Right foot standing start. Durham missed. 2 behinds to the Bombers. Gold Coast at 2-2. Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Flanders, they get it quickly from the kick in. McPherson having a good first term. Runs outside defensive 50 just along the boundary line. Looking for Ben King, but Zirk Thatcher right there with a fist. Knocks that one out of bounds. Ben King will come have a spell. Alex Sexton, the sub for the Gold Coast Suns this afternoon. Charlie Constable coming on the ground, the former Cats, getting an opportunity across half back this year for Gold Coast. Still missing Will Powell. Parrish wins the clearance. Gets good purchase. Gold Coast have got the extra number inside 50. They couldn't take the mark. Hewland again under pressure. Right on Bombers. He's going to be holding the ball. Shield decided to take the advantage on his right boot around the body. Gee, he was lucky, but he finished. It was a class finish on his opposite, and the Bombers are on the board.
I'll tell you what happened there. The Suns had one back because Caldwell come up to the stoppage and was at the back of the stoppage, but then when it was kicked forward, he absolutely put his head down and got back inside 50 as quick as he possibly could to even up the numbers. He was able to then get that tackle, which created Shields' opportunity to kick the goal.
It's interesting to see a few of the tactics. So the wingers are now, instead of having one either side of the contest, I think it's the Essendon winger has decided to roll around to the Gold Coast winger. So therefore there's opportunities out the front door for the Gold Coast Suns. Essendon obviously wanting that spare, so that's why they send their forward up to in and around that stoppage, because they really require that extra at the stoppage.
Triple M Seabar super special comments, making hard work pay off. 2-2-14 the Suns. The Bombers get there first. They're 1-2-8 back in the middle. Bounce. Draper and Witts. Draper wins that one. Setterfield couldn't take it. Miller did. And he charged out with a handball, but the handball wasn't that good. The turnover comes. The Bombers get it back. Parrish kicks a finger breaker down towards half forward. Davey did his best to mark the finger breaker. Then laid a big tackle. Really good tackle. And the umpire is going to ball it up. Two young players. Davey and Hollands out there. Some talent.
Holding.
Free kick out of the stoppage. Going to go the way of Tuke Miller. So Tuke Miller just back of the centre circle. No one mans the mark, so he just kicks it as far as he can. Looking for his forwards in that contest. Joel Jeffrey, second bite. Laverde all over him. He thought he might have touched it. It doesn't matter. That gets paid every day of the week, playing in front. And Jeffrey will go back from 40 metres out, straight in front to kick the Gold Coast third.
The kicking hope more than anything. It was two smaller players down there, but they were good enough. It was a one-on-one, a true one-on-one. We get a look at it here on the Harvey Norman replay.
And then 50 metres against Jaden Laverde for lipping up to the umpire.
Harvey Norman replay came off his shoulder.
Ridiculous. It was his mark. He had off his own shoulder, and he grabbed it second bite.
Jaden Laverde, he ended up winning the reverse Coleman last year. Had the most goals kicked on him in the competition. I did that stat late in the year too, man. There's one for you. And the Gold Coast get their third from in the goal square, Jeffrey. And the Gold Coast 3-2-20, Essendon 1-2-8. 5.5 minutes first term, Beacon trade scoreboard.
Just ill-discipline when you don't need it, Stevie. One of the leaders down there just needed to bite his tongue. Understand you can be disappointed with the decision, but you're never going to reverse it. So just to sit there and make him go back, have the set shot from 45 metres out rather than marching right to the goal line.
Triple M Red Z, Archie Perkins, last week 20 disposals and 3 majors, currently statless.
And Choice Hotels around the grounds. The other game is over, Ash, up at the SCG.
Certainly is. Sydney defeated the Hawks by 81 points, 17-16, 118 to Hawthorn, 413-37.
So the Suns by 12 points. We just saw comfortably on the Harvey Norman replay that there was a mark. Huge run out deals on LG 2022 TVs. Now at Harvey Norman, back in the middle. Draper got up high, sharked it beautifully. Down to Merritt. Merritt to half forward. Touch play on the umpire call. You heard that. Trying to work his way through was Perkins. Now, beautiful stuff by Langford. Langford on the right foot. Does it bend back enough? Yes!
Very nice dish there by young Archie Perkins. We spoke about him in the pre-game. What a danger he is ahead of the ball, and that's what he was able to create there. He was able to get his hands free, give a nice little handball off, and we see the result from Langford, a really nice finish.
Bombers 2-2-14, Gold Coast Suns 3-2-20. Langford gets his first 5 minutes to go in this first term.
Entertaining game of footy so far, both sides doing as they please at stages. We've seen it nice and open, some overlap runs, some good run and carry, some good free-flowing footy. Looks like we're in for a good afternoon of that free-flowing footy.
Two-man, Red Z lenders.
Zach Merritt, Daisy, 6 disposals and 2 centre clearances, averages 30 against the Suns from 9 career games, which is a PB against any opposition side for Zach Merritt.
Nice. You can always come up with something off the top of your head, Two-man. Bombers get it back to 6 points, and it's going to be holding the ball. Good tackle. Going to go the way of Parrish, also having a good game. Just forward of the centre circle, drives it to the top of the square. Big Draper! Stuck out the 1 mitt. Had a couple of goes at it and pulls it down inside a pack of about 6. And the man with the beautiful mullet will go back from 25 out straight in front to try and tie it up.
Will he give the celebration, Joey, do you think?
He'll give some sort of celebration, won't he? He loves it, the big fella.
He's right up there with Papley as the best celebrators in the game.
Parrish just drove it in long and deep. Draper, important role forward today without Wiedemann laid out. He misses. Not his forte necessarily, the set shots for big Sammy Draper, and he'll be disappointed with that. Essendon 2-3-15, Gold Coast 3-2-20, just over 4 minutes left on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Gold Coast got an out here, out the other side. Not sure how they did that with the setup of McPherson's on centre wing. Short ball's a good one. Now they get to Ainsworth. Ainsworth has to slow it down now. Bombs are able to get back in front of the footy. Wide. And he looks for Jeffrey on a long lead. Still 2 kicks from home, Jeffrey. He started the game well. Jeffrey eases one into the 50. Looking for King. Over the back was Redmond. Read it nicely, and Redmond did what Redmond does. Intercept mark. Good player.
Held up for the time being. Goes short to McGrath. Still inside the defensive 50. Redmond follows on, gets the handball receive, and then sets a little task for D'Ambrosio, but he's on his left side with that beautiful left leg. Keeps it low and hard. Went looking for Menzie. Heppel didn't take possession, neither did Merritt. The ball goes out of bounds, just below us. Broadcast side of Marvel Stadium. Gold Coast leading by 5 points. Lukosius, Hollins and Jeffrey, the goal scorers for the Suns. Shield and Langford for the Bombers. Gold Coast did most of the attacking early. Essendon have been able to level up most of the key indicators inside the final 3 minutes of this first term. Witts tried to take possession, couldn't from the contest. Anderson, sweeping handball back to Constable, whose handball went looking for Ainsworth. Coming the other way, Martin, good contest, but held on to Ainsworth when he didn't have the ball.
Not sure if that was there, Joey.
Looks a bit surprised. The Suns will get the free kick and give the handball to Constable, who goes to Casbolt full-chested. Good defence from Laverde. Got the fist in, and then Heppel was a bit laconic trying to take possession. Keeps it a loose ball inside 50 of the Gold Coast. McGrath snatches it away and then just throws it on the boot towards 70.
The bouncing ball, big on this occasion, but then it gets out of bounds. And big Casbolt just didn't have his hands out far enough.
I've noticed that about 3 or 4 times today. The players have been that slow up for that last half a second before they mark the ball. They've been spoiled on every occasion.
Boundary throw-in. Witts and Phillips. Phillips got that with his foot. Big pack of players on the ball, move the ball up.
Spoken about it a little bit with Phillips, but he has a big stingray on that foot as a tattoo, Brownie. Interesting character is the big flip.
Real heavy metalhead, isn't he?
He absolutely loves it. Death metal enthusiast.
The death metal man wins that tap, and the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have another look at him. So a big stingray on the foot. Up against Witts. Best and fairest winner is Witts. Boundary throw-in. Him and Phillips go at it. Witts takes the front position and then just lays it down. Round the body towards half forward goes Rao, but really as far as D'Ambrosio. It was a good kick of the footy, and this one almost over the top of McGrath. Had to reach and get it, and then went for a run. McGrath from half back goes wide, looks for Heppel. Heppel marks it on his chest on the outer wing. Turns around on the left foot. Short ball finds Merritt. He'll want to go as well. Now does to McGrath, who kept running. Puts it out in front. He'll have a bounce, McGrath. He'll get to the 50, lower the eyes, and a good kick to Draper. And Draper marks it. And he'll go back and bang this through and celebrate.
Looks likely down there, Draper, presenting well at the footy on a couple of occasions, getting to good spots. Such a big presence, so it's hard not to, when McGrath looks up there, as we see on the Harvey Norman replay, it's hard not to see the big man coming at you with that balayage mullet just flowing in the breeze.
Gives it off to Redmond around the back. Redmond goes all the way in the post. Big kick.
You've got to do your forward scouting.
4-point lead.
You've got to do your forward scouting there. Redmond does that every single week. He gets around the back and he probably kicks up. Two men will probably have the numbers from running around and getting receives from outside 50.
Feels like it's a real pet hate for you, Stevie J. Little things like that. Players should be onto it. Almost cost the Suns. Now the kick towards the wing. Essendon have the numbers. Snatched by Miller on the wing. It was a short to a 50-50 towards Kelly and Lukosius. Not the greatest kick, but he didn't have much to go to.
Had nothing to go to.
So the ball goes out of bounds inside the final minute of this first term. Suns lead by 4 points.
Andrew!
They kick the first couple.
Oh, Paddy.
Essendon have pegged it back.
Thank you.
Good competitive quarter of 40. You're welcome, Brownie. Throw in. 60 out from the Suns' goal. Essendon have dropped one behind the ball in Heppel. Flip with that Stingray tattoo. Tried to get the ball forward. Couldn't. Gold Coast to win the clearance. Although Fiorini's ball goes straight up in the air So you heard the umpire scream, not 15. Long, under pressure, throws it on the boot, straight towards that loose defender for the Bombers, although they did well. The coach has got it to ground. Now loose ball, Redmond having a good first term, attacked it hard and got it to Durham. And now the Bombers will try and clear the defensive 50 right on centre field. Kept his eye on the footy, took a mark running with the flight. He's just told to slow it down, nothing silly, and take it long down the line because there's only 20 seconds left in the quarter. So that's what he does towards Jones, who takes a nice mark. Now if he wants to get it moving, he's got a one-on-one inside 50. And again, he just takes a little bit too long, Jones. And now he waits for the Gold Coast to get numbers back. One of them's Ballard. Shield bursting through. Can he kick his second for the quarter? Dylan Shield! Right on the quarter time siren. Crumbed it at full speed. Burst through. Snapped on the left. And what a way to finish the term for the Bombers. He gets his second, and for the first time in the quarter, they lead, and they go in with a bit of momentum. They are 3-4-22. The Gold Coast Suns 3-2-20. Good game of footy at Marvel Stadium Sunday afternoon. Stevie J, Daisy, Nathan Brown, Joey, Two-Man and Robbo, McDonald to Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, a wide range of lighting and electrical products, and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
Head to Macca's for 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a one-handed grab.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football.
What is on the radio?
Max, go on. I remember I said Collingwood would win the flag.
Win the flag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe I said that to Pendles.
Yeah, Max is here.
Melbourne will win the flag. I said to Pendles that Collingwood would win the flag.
Yeah, I think
but where Max is here, I say Melbourne's going to win the flag.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blonde for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
On now at Harvey Norman. Huge run-out deals on LG 2022 TVs. Be quick for clearance prices across the LG 2022 TV range. Save $400 on the LG 65-inch QNED 91 4K Mini LED Smart TV. Now $1,545. Save $600 on LG 65-inch CS 4K OLED Smart TV. $2,295. Shop in-store or online while stocks last. Hurry. Huge run-out deals on LG 2022 TVs and Sunday at Harvey Norman.
Go! Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. For 43 years, National Tiles has consistently given our customers the best value for money tiles in Australia. Here's proof. Magnificent polished Verona floor tiles. National Tiles' best value price of $39 is over 20% below the market. That's right, 20% below the market every day of the year. Yes, I personally guarantee you National Tiles has the best value for money tiles in Australia every day of the year.
It's road trip season right now at Repco, where you'll get an Eclipse Snow Cannon and 2-litre Hyperfoam combo for $59, or a Repco Shop Towel 200 pack for just $15. Take the trip your car's been dreaming of, only at Repco.
Talk about mind-blowing, Serge.
What's that?
Budget Director, Money Magazine and CanStar's Insurer of the Year.
The experts agree. They really have blown away the competition.
Dark!
Switch online to Money Magazine and CanStar's Insurer of the Year.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
Issue Auto and General Insurance Company Limited. Read PDS, TMD and awards information at budgetdirect.com.au to decide if products suit you. Individual circumstances and policy terms may vary. Compare for yourself.
Hi, I'm Anthony Matafari from Car Sales. You might not know me, but you might know who this is.
Hi, I'm Wendell Saylor.
In this new podcast, in partnership with Car Sales, I'm going to be heading out for a drive with a bunch of well-known Australians in their cars for a behind-the-scenes chat about how they got to where they are today.
When the Sale family goes on a road trip, let's just say there's a lot of snacks to be consumed.
Search Along for the Ride where you get your podcast and download the Listener app now to listen for free.
Listener. Go full sport with Code Sports, Australia's biggest and most experienced sports news team, bringing you all the latest news and in-depth stories from around the globe, as well as every stat and live score. For all your sport now in the one place, visit Code Sports today.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy. This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Tough on and off the field.
3 goals apiece at Marvel Stadium, quarter time. The Bombers 3-4-22. They lead the Suns by 2 points. The 3-2-20 goal scorers, the Koshas, Hollins and Jeffrey, and Shield has got a couple for the Bombers and Langford, and 2 beautiful goals to Dylan Shield. A right foot snap from 45 and then right on the quarter time siren, kick the left foot snap from the boundary to put the Bombers in front for the first time today. For McDonald's Room Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Let's go to the back row. Before we do that, Ash, Triple M Red Z lending stats.
Bombers +8 disposals, +6 in tackles. Shield number 1 ranked player on the ground, 7 disposals and a couple of majors.
If there was a player and I got a free kick and I had a shot at goal that I didn't want having a snap on his opposite foot from 45, it's Dylan Shield, but he nailed it.
Yeah, that was a terrific bit of work rate there from Dylan Shield. I seen when Setterfield had the ball on the half-back flank, Shield was on his haunches. He looked like he needed quarter-time break more than anyone. And then as the ball got kicked long and long again, Shield had just done a 100-metre sprint to get front and square at that contest, and the finish was outstanding.
Interesting to note on the back of some of the centre clearances, Essendon just dominating 5-zip in that facet of play. Parrish with 2, Merritt with 2. And 8 of the last 12 inside 50s, Stevie's showing me there, have gone to Essendon. So Gold Coast dominated the first half. Essendon got back in the second half there, all on the back of some really good work rate, but mainly in and around that clearance work.
Robbo for Bob Jane team arts.
Nick Martin, a problem lower back. Had it looked by the doctor and the physio for the entire huddle, so he's starting on the interchange, so he's got a bit of a lower back problem, Nick Martin.
That's Robbo, Bob Jane Team Arts. Have a great buy 3, get 1 free deal, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. As we're going to get ready to get underway for the second quarter. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
By the way, Nath, he's a left footer.
I said the right foot, the first one he kicked.
Oh, the right
foot. Then you went off on the other one.
Another centre clearance to the Bombers. That's Parrish again, gets good purchase. There's the other ruckman forward. And they're going to take the advantage again, the Bombers, because it was to Phillips. They took an advantage. Wrong time to do it, although it might work anyway. The snap from Menzie got to the goal square, crumped by Alvin Davey. And the Bombers fast start in this second term. That's 2 advantages they've taken when they probably shouldn't have, but they've worked out. They're 4-4-28. Gold Coast 3-2-20. This quarter, Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, another centre clearance and then straight down for the easiest of goals. Not really sure why the advantage was taken there. You'd imagine if you were having a shot 35, 40 metres out that you may just go back and trust it. It was Big Phillips down there who does kick it quite well for a ruckman, but on that occasion they elected to. And well done to Davey there, getting to the good spot where all small forward should be.
And just looking at himself up on the big screen, very, very happy. Why not? It was a very good goal. Jones did well to come in and on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Very happy, and then the camera pans to his family and they're happy. Not much better things than kicking a goal in AFL footy. Makes you feel good, Stevie.
I can't believe how many you gave off, Stevie. It makes me sick.
Out of the middle goes Miller. They need to respond here, the Suns. The Bombers kick the last 3 and try to run through. Opportunity now gets for Roses. Down towards half forward, bouncing ball. McGrath, his handball was a little bit wild, and opportunity for Ainsworth, who's tackled really well. Roses goes back in and the ball goes out of bounds on the 50 for the Suns. So what was a 12-point deficit when Jeffrey kicked the goal is now an 8-point lead to the Bombers early stages. Second quarter, Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans tough on and off the field.
Whitson Draper will continue their battle. Just outside 50, this ball will be thrown in. Gold Coast kicking to the left of the broadcast. Coming through, Anderson couldn't get his arms free. Wrapped up by Redmond. Phillips resting forward for the Bombers. Kaz Bolton King deep for the Gold Coast Suns. Again, we'll have a secondary stoppage. Ben King's numbers 2, first quarter, very quiet.
Yeah, just the 3 handballs. Joey, yet to take a mark and scoreless.
Got Zerk Thatcher on him. And as we said earlier, was very good last week for Essendon. And that win against Hawthorn, the big win. We're going to go 2 and zip, and a great tackle on Took Miller from Darcy Parish, shouldered the ball. Had it on a string last week, did Darcy Parish, and his numbers 2, Red Z this game.
Disposal number 10, 3 centre clearances.
Kicks long towards Perkins, well read Collins, attacked the ball. And he's going to get a free kick as he slid for front-on contact. He dropped the chest mark, so he was lucky to get that and just squares it up laterally to Weller.
So can they build here? The Suns into the middle, looking for and finding Flanders. Had a good pre-season of Flanders. Highly rated young talent. Here he goes backwards and a 15-foot play on. Weller. Weller goes wide. That's a poor kick. It goes out of bounds of a boundary throw-in. So not great ball movement there from the Suns. They had a good play through the middle of the ground and then went sideways and lateral and out of bounds.
Just stepped off his mark through the middle there. Umpire called play on, which is just put him under unnecessary pressure. The pressure came, forced him to make a decision, wasn't the right one.
Umpire brings the Sherrin back into play. Rowell on the end of it. Scurries away from the stoppage and kicks it inside forward 50. Out the back, rises. Read it nicely, but the Bombers had the numbers there. Casbolt snaps it out of the pack. And I think Casbolt's got it. He has. Good goal. And it's back to a 2-point margin. 4-4-28 the Bombers, 4-2-26 the Suns. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Just waiting to see a look at the Harvey Norman replay here. Just how the ball did spill out. Looked like the Bombers were about to mop it up nicely. They had some extra numbers down there, but some good pressure coming in. It might have been Jeffrey down there to apply that big spearing-looking tackle. No free kick awarded, and then Casbolt quickly around the body. Nice bit of forward craft there from the Gold Coast Suns. We finally see a replay now. So they sacrificed. Redmond came across 2 in. He did an impact. Ball goes over the top.
He's lucky he kicked it. He had Lukosius there for a handball who would have ran into an open goal.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Huge run-out deals on LG 2022 TVs. On now at Harvey Norman. Only while stocks last. Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Gold Coast to win this centre clearance. Noah Anderson gets good purchase on it. Drives it to the top of the square. Big pack of players. Laverde lost his footing. Ben King does the crumbing. He went looking for Casbolt. Essendon get the numbers and Kelly wraps him up.
What's the rule on the centre bounce there? That ball landed way outside the circle, but they called play on.
Yeah, some umpires are a little bit more precious, Stevie, and they want it. They don't want to recall it, so they just let it play, even though they probably should. Ball up inside 50 for the Suns. Parrish with another clearance and quick kick, but this time only as far as David Swallow, who's taken the mark 45 metres out in a 45-degree angle. Will take his best kick. He's got Ben Long just lurking next to him. Swallow will kick this 50 metres. The 30-year-old. Pretty good set shot. 27 goals, 20 for his career. We'll let it fly. Strikes it nicely. It's going to go close. Just missed. Big fly from Ben King unnecessarily when it was through for a point and nearly hurt his back. And it'll be 4-3-27 Gold Coast. Essendon 4-4-28. Early stages of this second term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
So the Bombers by a point. Redmond to kick in. Goes for a stroll. He's full 15. Looks for Langford. Langford used the body. The ball got over the back though. Rowell's the first one back there and the ball was out of bounds. And Sam Collins comes in for a weird high five. With a boundary throw in. Martin looks like he's coming back on, Robbo.
Done a lot of work on his lower back all through that huddle and down here, so ready to come back on. They'll test that.
Robbo for Bob Jane Team Arts, the best in the business on the boundary. Fiorini was there. He couldn't take it with him. The Bombers now. Beautiful turn out of the pack by Caldwell. Couldn't quite get it off to his teammate in Heppel. Now the Suns pick it up and Redmond takes an easy mark at half back.
Having a good game, Redmond. That was on Lukosius. Squares it on the 45 to Merritt. And he just has to slow it up. Gold Coast have set up their team defence, but he finds Heppel in a bit of space just inside the boundary line. They're now forward to the wing. He can draw the man and give it to Shield, but it was a stinky handball.
It's the worst handball I've ever seen.
Lucky to hit the fist. That was like my 5-year-old's handball, and that went out of bounds just forward to the wing. 70 metres around from the Bombers' goal. They lead this one by a point.
So boundary throw, and Phillips, Witts just gets rid of Phillips. Then Shield sharked it though. Point of the square. Long ball inside forward 50. The smallest man down there is Menzies. Did he mark it? No, the umpire said play on. Really good effort. We'll have a ball up. Bombers fans think he might have had enough of it. On Long. 1, 2, 3. Good call by the umpire on the Harvey Norman replay. There's the ball up. Draper resting forward. Got the ball out. Caldwell was there. inching the ball out of the defensive 50 other Suns. 50-50 ball for Heppel, who stood up. Opponent went down to ground level, but the Suns have got the numbers. McPherson, left foot, screw around the corner's a good kick.
It was a clever kick, and it got Roses in a bit of space. Who's running along the boundary line. It's a beautiful kick inboard to Ainsworth. Marks it on the point of the square. He has an open forward line, just has to assess his options. And as he went to kick the first time, Redmond took half a step on the mark. And the trigger-happy umpire said that's enough to call 50, and this will make it a certain goal for the Gold Coast Suns.
How good was that inboard kick by Malcolm Roses there? He just set that up. He could have tried to go short to Lukosius, but he looked inside, took the danger on, and that's why they're having the shot.
Ben Ainsworth, game 98, 10 metres out straight in front to put the Suns back in front. He's got it. Courtesy of a 50-metre penalty. And the Gold Coast get their second in a row. They go to 5-3-33. Essendon 4-4-28. 15.5 minutes still to play in this second term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
We were told there was going to be some more leniency around this stand rule. Again, we wait to see the Harvey Norman replay. Didn't look like there was a whole lot in it. Players running past. Redmond, it was standing the mark. Just looked like he collapsed a little bit to the ground. That may have been after the whistle. Pretty slow on the replays at the moment, Joey.
Yeah.
I'll keep talking, though, until it comes up. As we see here, Roses, that beautiful kick you're talking about. Left foot slice through there. Really well done by Ainsworth, going back with the flight. Runners going, he took half a step to the left. So the rule was meant to be amended, so that wasn't a 50.
That's right.
That's very stiff.
For McDonald's Room Hot Water, Triple M Rock footy. Back at the middle. Gold Coast back in front. Miller out of the middle. Down to that man Redmond, who's been outstanding today. You don't often see him play a bad game ever. He's been good today. To half forward and Durham. Durham moves the ball on. They got some time and space. The bounce taken by Merritt. To Kelly. Inside forward 50 in the lead. Comes out by Jai Menzies. One of the smallest men out there. But he's looked dangerous. So Draper long, calling for the ball, and then Menzies, beautiful lead up into the pocket. Absolutely no one near him.
Good awareness by Draper too, to see that the space was there. Menzies hitting up into it, so he just started to back out of that, took his opponent. That's why there was that big pocket of space for Menzies to work into.
He's about 10 metres in from the boundary. Menzies will kick from 40. And that's not a good kick. You're lucky to score, and he doesn't. Out of bounds on the full. And the Bombers, 4-4-28. The Suns are 5-3-33. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
What are the numbers telling us, Stu Man, about this? Sorry, Steve, what are the numbers, Stu Man, in this second quarter telling us?
Well, the Suns are winning the centre clearances. They got belt in the first quarter. They were down 5-zip. They're up 3-1 in this term.
With the Reds Head Lenders, as the Gold Coast Suns try and go outside defensive 50. Well picked off by McGrath. He's having a good game. Forward handball to Phillips. Gave it off to Martin. Snaps on the left boot. Couldn't screw it back far enough. Out of bounds on the full. Still trailing by 5 points, the Bombers.
Yeah, maybe a little bit rushed there. He had length at the inside that he could have probably just lowered the eyes to, but didn't have much time, so forgive him for that.
So the Suns through Hewlin. Long ball outside. Got a good 60-metre punt on that one. Fisted forward by Casbolt, but the ball goes out of bounds. Bit of a push and shove out there with Holman.
Oh, have a look at that filthy mud flap.
He loves it, Holman, doesn't he?
A bleached mud flap rolling down there is Hollywood.
One of the great Bogan cuts for Holman.
Once got a photo with a cigarette machine at the old Barclay nightclub. Fun fact.
So boundary throw in. Flipped out the back. Bombers out of the pack. Down towards half forward. It's inside the forward half of the ground now. Perkins gets good purchase on it. Getting back. Tipped over the top. Just has to stand up. This is Jai Menzies, and he couldn't quite in the end, and the Suns mowed him down for holding the ball. They did well.
Great defence by the Gold Coast Suns. 3 or 4 of them. Fiorini, Hewlin, McPherson. Desperate to save that certain goal. They do well. And now they'll look to reload from deep in their back pocket. Constable handballs off to McPherson. Finds Collins. Half-back flank along the boundary line. Out of side. Not his greatest kick. Sam Collins picked off by D'Ambrosio. I like Massimo. He can play, this kid. Goes lateral to Thatcher.
Stand!
Point of the square, half back, short into the corridor.
Stand!
Inside the centre square to Ridley. Happy just to play a bit of tempo here.
Stand!
Stevie J was telling us about the Bombers. They just play what the game gives them. They're nothing much on, so they're happy to control the ball for the time being.
They do have 1v1s ahead. If they were to go to a contest, I think playing with speed has actually helped them.
Laverde tries to poke it over the top to Massimo D'Ambrosio. It was centimetre perfect. Just got over the outstretched arms of Lukosius, and Massimo just back of the wing. Going to wheel and drive it towards a contest. Perkins is in that. So's Yulin. Heppel almost got the crumb. Couldn't quite take it away. And now it spills out. Loose ball. Setterfield leading the race. He leaves it for Caldwell, who's able to pick it up under a bit of pressure. Flick the handball. Archie Perkins tries to break the Rao tackle. Well done, Matty Rao. Lays a strong tackle. Crowd thought it might have been high, but Perkins ducked under it, so it was the right call by the umpire. We'll have a ball up 40 metres out from the Bombers' goal, trailing by 5 points.
It's been a pedestrian 5 minutes from both clubs at the moment. A lot of scoring going on. Miller, quick handball. Shark by Shield, who put it down the race, out of bounds on the full. He was off balance. Dylan Shield. Been good so far, a couple of goals. What are his numbers, Ash?
Yeah, Dylan Shield for Triple M Red Z, 12 disposals and a couple of majors.
Who's the number 1 ranked player on the ground?
Mason Redmond, 12 disposals, 3 intercept marks.
Give it back.
This is where Essendon need to make sure this ball goes long down the line and they get a big spoil or a turnover. This is what they've been working on all summer.
Let's see if they can do that. Triple MC bus super special comments from Stevie. Long ball. And the ball got out the back and with a boundary throw in. Is that what you wanted?
Exactly what I asked for.
Andrew,
Lukosius comes on. Witts goes off. King comes on.
Ball thrown in. Centre wing. Phillips and Casbolt. The second string rucks go at it. Tap into space. Parrish normally so good. The ball didn't bounce his way. Rao liked his game. And I liked how he stepped in and out of traffic. Gave the handball to Miller. Beautiful kick to half forward to Lukosius. They should score from this passage. He's normally a good kick, Lukosius. He puts it out into the path of King. Got to him on the bounce. Has Hollands for support. Has to backtrack and get it outside 50. And then it running on Anderson. Takes the mark inside 50. Good build-up by the Suns from the stoppage. He's already had one crack at it, Noah Anderson. Just snuck in from behind. He'll go back from 50 metres out to 45-degree angle.
I think Lukosius probably should have looked up there and King was out the back. He just had to kick it in there, and if he had marked that, it would have been a certain goal from 20 metres out. Whereas they've gone a little bit wider. He went to the lead, and now they've got a mark where it's probably a 50-50 kick from this area of the ground.
Area of his game he can really work on, Noah Anderson, to elevate himself into that top tier of midfield from 50. 45-degree angle again. He's hooked it badly, and again it just sneaks through from behind. Gold Coast 5-4-34. Essendon still 4-4-28. 10.5 minutes still to play in this second term. Of course, built tough frozen conditions. When it comes to water heating, make sure you ask your plumber to install the ring.
Play on!
So Ridley went wide and he found Kelly. Kelly, the handball, come to Shield. Shield, McGrath. Nice chain of handballs by the Bombers, but they've coughed it up almost. Go back in, and Durham did well. Saved the day. He has to go all the way back, though, to the defensive 50. They're almost at the wing, and that will be 50 metres. Going over the mark was Lukosius.
You go. Mark's here. Mark's here, everyone. Forward to the mark. Jake, round. Mark's here. Stay out there. Outside 5.
So make sense of that what you will, the umpires.
Outside 5.
And Jake Kelly, still 2 kicks from home. Will pump him inside forward 50. Called to play on. Left foot goes in the direction of Langford, but a couple of players there to defeat him, and Durham's opportunity quite easily just goes around, then gives it to Perkins. Looked like everyone was going half pace, and Durham came in and cleaned it up. And now Archie Perkins. Been quiet so far, Ash.
Yeah, only 3 disposals. Hasn't hit the scoreboard to date.
Really well done there by Durham coming in. The ability just to lower the eyes, not blaze away, not get caught up.
So kicked 3 goals last week. Archie Perkins, one of the best on the ground. Quiet so far. This is to bring the Bombers back level. Halfway through the second term. Perkins from 25. Nails the goal. Scores a level at Marvel. 5-4-34 apiece. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, yeah, we talked about in the pre-game how important it is that you pass the ball off in areas of the ground that's going to give you the best percentage of kicking a goal, and he was able to do that on that occasion. Very selfless play, could have blazed away a young player, but squared it up to Perkins, who was in a certainty of a position to kick the goal. In fact, his teammates, his midfield teammates, had already walked back to for the centre bounce.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments today. Daisy Thomas, Stevie J this year on Sundays. Seabus Super making hard work pay off.
Man, just the Bombers' pressure the last 10 minutes, if you could.
Yeah, Bombers' pressure. Come back to you very shortly, Daisy.
Daisy, that's a stitch up.
Exactly.
That was a stitch up. We worked together here. You saw Two-Man's computer break down.
Exactly.
And you've thrown one at him. Come on, Daisy.
Hospital handball, eh?
We don't do that to our own here.
I'll tell you what, Brownie liked it, so did Steve.
That's Friday night rubbish, mate.
Actually, Joe, we do that to our own.
Not on Sundays, Stu. We're better than that.
You're right, yep.
We've got a cultural shift here on Sundays.
Like it.
Yeah, we're still working on it.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Gold Coast Suns win the clearance. Rowell again. Steps out of traffic. Goes in the left boot. Inside 50. Well done, Zerk Thatcher. Mopped it up. Although the handball put Kelly under pressure. And the rundown tackle from Rosas was excellent. And it's going to be holding the ball. And the quick reply from the Suns could be if Rosas can kick truly from 25 out in a slight angle.
Good tackle.
Yeah, it certainly was. Forward half pressure and forward 50 tackles are worth their weight in gold, and on that occasion just hunted the man, watched the hips, didn't get stepped. Kelly tried to put a step on him, too good. Affected the tackle, rewarded with the free kick.
And Rosas missed one in the first term. Shouldn't miss this one. Slight angle to put the Suns back in front. A little stuttering approach. And then, it was a very, very tentative approach. That was a horrible kick. Not sure what he was doing there. Not sure what his technique was, Steve. He's been practicing at training, but I don't think it was that.
A bit of Josh Kennedy's about it.
That's a bad miss.
Very hoppy.
Gold Coast 35, Essendon 34. Still got 8 minutes to play in this second term.
Redmond went one way, then the other. And he found Parrish, who got the ball moving quickly. Laverde just squeezes the ball just inside the boundary line to Heppel. Run and carry for the Bombers is good. Shield got it out to D'Ambrosio. Needs to step through and get it back to Shield. Can he get it now? No. Coming in really good way was Rao, who then sat on top of it. The Bombers players wanted ball, but that was a great effort by Rao.
Awesome effort from Swallow as well. He came off his man in corridor side, had to come in and affect that tackle, was good enough to do so.
Scores were level. Now Gold Coast by a point. Durham set up the last one. Can he set up another one to Shield? A bit slow on that occasion, Shield. Durham went back in hard. Shield staying down. Hope he's okay. He's holding his ribs, I think, down there. And
he'll be fine, though.
Stevie thinks he'll be fine. Have a ball up. You'll see the Harvey Norman replay.
He did this last week, though. He got a little sticker on his shoulder, and he was okay.
Yeah, he's good. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Stoppage inside 50 for the Bombers. Draper just whacked it into space. Bombers caused the spill. Caldwell thought it was a free kick and just stopped. And then everybody stopped around him. Everybody just stopped and looked. The umpires were talking to each other through their mics. We could hear it. But no whistle blew. Even though that was holding the ball, although he might have just got a boot to it accidentally. It was McPherson. And now we'll have a stoppage inside 50. Gold Coast happy to concede a behind.
Look at Tuke Miller taking off here, outside 50.
He's good call, Stevie. The kick gets to him too, although it went through the fingertips, dropped the mark. Charlie Ballard trying to do a fresh area. Now they're away, the Suns.
On centre wing, they've got players out everywhere. King with a long ball, looking for Casbolt. Casbolt one-on-one, and he used his body to perfection. Too big and strong for Langford. And Casbolt will shoot for goal with a booze going around the stadium.
Really good awareness there from King as he looked up. He did have that great one-on-one, and it was a mismatch. Just had to be a long penetrating kick, and he was good enough to get it there. Casbolt did the rest. You love that as a forward when you get a nice one-on-one on the ball to your advantage side.
Kick one early this quarter. He ragged old Langford. Kicking to the Footscray in. Casbolt kicks the goal. And they extend their lead back to 6 points. 6-5-41, 5-5-35. 6 point lead, Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Yeah, beautiful kick to advantage, as you said. That's what you like to see when you see a big man down there that can give a presence like he did. And Langford was certainly rocked by the Casbolt.
Robbo, Bob Jane, team Arts.
Yeah, a couple of things. Jared Witt's out in the middle. Got a knee knock about 10 minutes ago. He's been flexing it, so keep an eye on him. Dylan Shield having a word to doctors. He went down about half forward flank about a couple of minutes ago. Still talking to the physios and whatever, and the crowd's gone feral. Seriously down here, gone berserk. They don't like it, the Bomber fans.
Could have been awarded a couple of free kicks in the last two passages of play. The concern for the Bombers there was a kick in, slow transition. the ability to go down end-to-end transition. Coaches hate that.
Stevie just turning into Jerry Seinfeld in the back row.
It's a real funny one. So McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Centre clearances have been important in this game, and the Bombers win this one. Merritt finds Alvin David half forward, gets up and plays on quickly to go. Draper!
Where's Redmond or Merritt?
Stand up.
Big Draper's going to have to kick this
Hang
outside
on.
50. Stevie J knows what's happening.
They're onto it this time, though.
Yeah, they've manned up on Redmond, Malcolm Roses. And I think Draper
He'll take
likes,
off. Ooh.
I think Draper likes it when he can have a shot for goal. He's come out full-chested a couple of times in this first half. The kicking is just slightly questionable. But maybe from outside 50, he can just relax and let it fly. And he hits the post.
He was off too.
He was getting ready for a real big celebration. Big drapes. And he's flat. 5-6-36 the Bombers. Gold Coast 6-5-41. 5.5 minutes left. Second term. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Red's Head Lending, Ash.
Just some leading ball winners, Brownie. 13 to Parrish, along with McGrath and Shield with his two majors, and 16 to Miller for the Suns.
Almost a turnover. The umpire's going to bring the footy back. It's going to be the Gold Coast Suns free kick.
That was a decision made from the upfield umpire, who was, let's say 30, 40 metres away. The umpire that was actually closest to it was about 5 metres away, and he called play on.
Thank you.
Very interesting call.
Triple M Seabar, super special comments. Steve Johnson, Dale Thomas
Play on.
in the back row. So Miller goes sideways and he finds Collins. Another one to Yuland. Good clearing kick. Casbolt, the former Cat.
You kick.
Constable to Jeffrey.
1 metre back.
Umpire's having a real problem with his whistle.
Stand.
So Jeffrey, 5 minutes to go before half-time. It's a slow build-up and the ball's out of bounds.
This is that cultural shift we're talking about, Ash. See, we all just looked around there. We just
The silence was deafening and eerie, wasn't it?
Casbolt on my mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Casbolt, the former Cat, of course, Charlie Constable, that was. So, been a bit of a stalemate this quarter, just 2 goals apiece. Essendon led by 2 points at quarter time. They trail by 5. Stoppage, quick kick from the Bombers towards that man, Constable. Well done, Long. Collins flicks out a handball wide. Fiorini. Swallow it was, in fact, to Weller. Towards half forward, playing in front. Ridley on Lukosius. Flanders. Good strong tackle, Caldwell. Well done, Essendon. This is the defensive stuff we're talking about. Now can they counter off halfback? Merritt has a Menzies in space. He looks up. He only has Langford, but Ballard's got good position on him. So instead he kicks to the really hard-running Kelly, who kept his eye on the footy. And Ballard got there late, gave away the free kick, but it allows Gold Coast to get numbers back. Now Redmond's lurking. Redmond's lurking. Kelly uses him as a decoy. Goes to the top of the square. Jones flies. Going to get the crumb. Langford. Snap around the body. Bombers get another one. Langford's got his second. Bombers go coast to coast off the back of their pressure. And they're back in front. 6-6-42. Gold Coast 6-5-41. Titanium Caravan scoreboard. 4 minutes left before the half.
I don't really like that from a free kick point of view from the umpire there. Kelly going back with the flight. Ballard coming the other way, had the opportunity to run straight through him. I thought he did everything he could without causing a serious collision and potentially wiping Kelly out there. Still made contact, which you're allowed to do, but the umpire adjudicated that was forceful enough to turn it over. He could have come full-chested and cleared it. The Bombers good enough, though, to make something out of nothing. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, really nice transference of play to get it out to the open side. And that, again, fortuitously landed in the lap of Langford, good enough to finish across the body.
Carl. 6 lead changes at Marvel in the first half, and the Bombers lead by a point. Phillips won that one. Charging after is Dylan Shield. Kicked a couple of goals already. Gave the ball off inside forward 50. The Bombers go. Davies the opportunity. Davey can't get it. Ground level. He's dangerous. Opportunity still for Menzies. Menzies lays a tackle. And then the ball eventually cleared by Miller. And the ball goes out of bounds. 3 minutes 37 before half-time. 6-6-42 the Bombers, 6-5-41 the Gold Coast Suns.
Goal for goal this term. Real arm wrestle. Bombers looking to go 2 and zip. Gold Coast looking for their first win. Archie Perkins clean pick up, but Constable's right there on his hammer. And he dropped the footy. Bombers fans don't like it. Constable will get the free kick. Half back inside his defensive 50. Constable long towards the wing. Laverde thought he was pushed out. And there's the man with the dirty mullet. Holman took the mark. Popped it over short. Just stays in play. Good healthy crowd here at Marvel. Essendon fans up and about this year. And they go short to Constable. Gee, footy's good when all the big Melbourne clubs are winning. Collingwood, Carlton, Richmond, the Bombers, the Saints. Short kick finds Flanders. Inside the centre square still. Half back, short to Lukosius. Patient build-up. Rao's on at centre half forward if he can get to him. That's a good kick. Finds Rao. He's had a good game too. Red Z lending.
Disposal number 9 and 5 clearances.
Handball's still long. Who just handballs to himself because he felt the pressure. That's not necessarily the play. And again, the Bombers forced the turnover. Got to be careful, Zerk Thatcher. Good forward pressure from the Suns. Could have been holding the ball. They might work out anyway. King tried to snap it, fell over. Looked awkward doing it. Looked real clumsy to Ben King. And we'll have a ball up 30 out from the Gold Coast goal.
I can't believe Ben Long's gone for a Kevin Bartlett on that occasion. Just handball out in front of him. So ball up. Point lead to the Bombers. 2 minutes to go till half time. Big 2 minutes coming up. Casbolt charges out. So too does King. Miller. That's holding the ball. And you can hear the Bombers crowd happy with that one. They feel like they've been hard done by.
Where's the free kick count, Shoot?
Yeah, 10-8, Essendon's way.
Kicked it straight back to Weller, though. So the ball's going to come back in.
Get it into King. He's got a 1v1 deep.
So he does that now. But there's a lot of numbers back there looking for King out the back. Ridley, too easy. Poor kick by Weller. Stewie Jew on the screen, can't believe it. And Merritt at fullback. Looking for a short ball, but nothing on. So he looks for Durham. Durham and Menzie. Durham went up, it was clumsy at best. Menzie went back, working in a phone booth on the boundary line. Opportunity now for the Bombers. Caldwell, handball up. They'll run and carry. Quick chain of handballs. Davies on the run. Can he get past one? He did. He'll have a bounce, Davey. He'll give the handball off. Perkins, top of the square. Look at Big Draper. Got out the back. He chases after it. One way, then the other. Big Draper handballed it off. The Bombers are going to kick a great goal. It ended up in the hands of Martin. But that was a team goal to watch. 7-point lead to the Bombers. 7-6-48. The Suns are 6-5-41.
Big twinkle toes there. The ball didn't come directly to him, but he was able to turn really, really on a dime for a big man, and then he just took the tackler on. He thought, I'm too big, I'm too strong, I'm taking you on, and he just set that goal up perfectly for his teammate.
The last thing he wanted to do there, Draper, was give that handball. He was trying to get the fend off all up the balk. Martin good enough there too, just to hold on. Well done down here by the 3 Bombers players working in that phone booth. Good enough to win the ball, and from there, that forward handball. Gold Coast Suns pressing out at them, but good enough just to keep using that advantageous number in that passage of play.
Big Sammy Draper, he really wanted Fiorini to fall for the balk, but he didn't, and he had to give it off to McDonald to Ream Hot Water. Good finish to the quarter for the Bombers. Gold Coast win this clearance. Wicks, high ball towards half forward. They've got the extra number. The Suns, that man Rao, being busy, throws it on the boot. Inside 50, loose ball. Redmond been very good, although strong tackle. Joel Jeffrey got him holding the ball.
Jeffrey.
So the man on the mark, Redmond, 45 metres out, just a couple of metres inside the boundary. It'll take a good kick from Joel Jeffrey, but he's got the talent to kick it from here. Forward pressure's been good for the Suns, Stu. They laid a couple of tackles inside 50 this half.
Yeah, Triple M Red Z, they've laid 5.
It's been rewarded for it a couple of times. Jeffrey kicked one in the opening term. This will almost see out the quarter as we tick down to the final seconds. They trail by 7. He crosses the junction of the 50-metre line of the boundary. He strikes it nicely. Just left it skinny side. And that'll see us out for a good half of footy. Gold Coast Suns and the Bombers. Bombers looking to go 2-0. The Suns looking for their first win. And at half-time, Gold Coast 6-6-42. Essendon 7-6-48. We'll have Stevie J, Daisy and Ash Stewart to give us a comprehensive summary of the first half after this. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter, the titanium caravans, tough on and off the field.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football.
Footy's on the radio.
Footy's back.
Yeah! It's back. This is great news.
Gawn and Grundy kicking 6 between them, so
they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. That ruck.
Yep.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blend for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalog specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
40 crispy chicken McNuggets are for friends. Together with tangy Cajun sauce, close friends only. Pick up juicy chicken and tangy Cajun at Macca's drive-thru today. Select items available for a limited time.
Meerkat Motivationals with Alexander and Sergey.
Hey, Pippa, taking your blood pressure?
Yes, good to keep it in check.
Same goes for health insurance. Check to see if you can get the same cover for less.
Same for less, really?
Keep your finger on the pulse, Pippa. Wake up to waste. Switching health insurance is easy. Visit Compare the Market to see the range of brands and products we compare. Or call 13 32 32. Simples.
Melbourne's best buys.
Win the ultimate Bosch professional measuring and power tools pack. See the Triple M win page and tell us how many Bosch tools you can detect in the ute for a chance to win big. T's and C's apply. Australian residents 18 plus only, excluding NT.
Best buys.
Whether you're heading off or staying home this Easter, J-Car has some cracking deals for you. Save up to 40% off Brass Monkey portable fridge freezers, 20% off campsite power, and up to 50% off dash cams and reversing cameras. Protect your home with up to 20% off CCTV kits and 30% off cameras. And Bluetooth speakers, portable projectors and antennas are now up to half price. These and more great J-Car Easter savings on now at over 20 stores across Melbourne.
There's no better time to ride away on a Sea-Doo. Stock has arrived, so get in store and score up to $1,500 worth of Sea-Doo gear on selected models. Hurry, offers are limited. Start living your Sea-Doo life. Visit c-doo.com for your local dealer.
Have you heard of the Aussies revolutionising the way we store and use our energy? Red Earth Energy Storage are paving the way for solar storage. By storing excess solar power from the day, thousands of Aussies are now ditching their electricity bills and becoming net zero. With on-grid and off-grid systems, wherever you are in this lucky country, they've got you covered. Contact your local solar installer or visit redearth.energy today. Red Earth Energy Storage, built by Aussies for Aussies to withstand our harsh conditions.
Race into Ram Truck's Red Hot DS 1500 Express Runout for a red hot 3.99% finance rate. Stock is limited, so see your Ram dealer today. T's and C's apply. Approved ABN applicants of Ram Trucks Finance only.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time.
Half-time here at Marvel Stadium. Pretty good game of footy on our hands. It's the Bombers 7-6-48, leading the Gold Coast Suns 6-6-42. Dylan Shield has a couple for the Bombers, a couple of really nice goals in the first term. Cole Langford's kicked a couple, Nick Martin, Archie Perkins, Alwyn Davey Jr., the other goal scorers for Essendon, while Levi Casbolt's got a couple for the Gold Coast Suns. Joel Jeffrey, Elijah Hollands and Lukosius kicked goals in the opening term to see the Bombers lead by 6 points. They led by 2 points at quarter time. It was going goal for goal there for a while in that second quarter until the last couple, particularly the one to Nick Martin, has just given them a little buffer. This is the halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. for expert advice. A job done right the first time. I'm here with Stevie J and Ash Stewart. Stevie, what did you make of the first half? We saw the Bombers last week. We thought they were pretty impressive, but it was hard to judge because they played against the Hawks, who we know are really struggling. But what have you liked about them in particular in this first half?
Well, I like the way they've been able to turn it around. I think the Gold Coast Suns were well on top early in that first quarter, and then Essendon, with 10 minutes to go in that first quarter, were able to turn it around and kick a couple of goals, get right back in the game. And since then, it's really been tick for tack. I mean, it's been pretty high scoring. I mean, it's 48-42 at this point in time, but there's been a lot of inside 50s. The ball seems to be ping-ponging up and down the ground. It's a good game of footy to watch. For the Suns, I think they've tried to put elite pressure on. I've seen them come forward to defend, and they've been able to restrict Essendon going from their D50 to their forward 50. But when it does get through, they are kicking goals. They kick 3 goals from their D50 going back full length of ground. Risk your run when you start to press with your defence. You can stop some, but if they get through, you'll have an outnumber forward of the footy.
Yeah, they've had 13 shots from their 24 entries, the Bombers. The Gold Coast Suns pretty efficiently as well. So it's been important around the clearances and what's been able to happen in this game. What about from the Gold Coast Suns? They started pretty well. They got the first couple of goals through Lukosius and Hollands. They had 3 of the first 4, in fact, and led by 12 points, but just struggling to score a little bit more in that second term. It was only 2 goals to Casbolt that were able to get them on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think Miller's probably been their best player. You just watch him, the way he covers the ground. It's unbelievable, the work rate. You see him just get from contest to contest, and there's no surprises why he's been the leading disposal getter on the ground with 19. Around that, Constable, he's come from Geelong. He's got an opportunity at the Suns. Didn't get much of a look in at the Cats, and he's had a fair bit of the ball as well. And King, I mean, it's hard to say with him. He's been there and they've kicked the ball in his direction a few times, but it just looks like he's been knocked off the ball. They're putting really good body work into him, Ridley, and he hasn't really looked much of a threat so far.
Yeah, the Bombers have been able to generate some pressure in their back half and turn that into offence, particularly their last couple of goals going the length of the field. Before we get Two-Man's stats, we'll go to Choice Hotels around the grounds. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book ahead at choicehotels.com. So go do it. Book now. The game earlier today, cheer up at the SCG.
Sydney, too good for the Hawks. An absolute smashing. 17-16, 118. Defeated Hawthorn by 81 points, 4-13-37.
Logan McDonald kicked the 5 goals. Callum Mills had plenty of touches. Stevie J's declared him to win the Brownlow Two-Man. He said he hitched his caravan to Callum Mills.
Is that right?
Might have polled some votes today. And then straight after this one, we are going to Optus Stadium because the West Coast Eagles taking on the Giants. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah, big game for both teams, isn't it? Of course, Giants won last week, but yeah, West Coast versus GWS. That's 6:20 our time at Optus Stadium, Joey.
Beautiful. And some of the Red Z lending numbers from the first half. What can they tell us about this game?
Well, they can tell us that the Bombers are doing well in terms of scores from turnovers. They've posted 4-4. You spoke about their pressure to the Suns at 1-3, but even though the Suns are down in centre clearances, 8-5 Essendon's way, but if you look at the scores from stoppages overall, Suns leading that particular stat 4-3 to Essendon 2-2. Steve spoke about Bombers' ball movement from D50 to inside 50. They've been very efficient. 20 chains from their D50. They've popped it inside 3 times, but they've kicked 3 goals straight. But just some leading ball winners, Joey. Tuke Miller, he leads the way with 19 disposals and 4 clearances. Constable with 12. Weller also with 12. Matty Rao with 11 disposals, but also throw in 6 clearances. 2 majors to Casbolt for the Bombers. Redman, he's the second-ranked player on the ground with 13 touches, 3 intercept marks, and the number 1 ranked player overall is Dylan Shield, 13 disposals and 2 majors.
Very good, Stevie. One of the big things that we all like at halftime is the halftime Amy Clangers segment. Who covers clangers on and off the field? It's the one that we always don't want to feature on. And Ross Lyon used to always say to me, let the cobblers do the cobbling, and this is why we should leave it to the experts. Let's hear Daisy Thomas trying to do the around the grounds.
Daisy, Choice Hotels around the grounds?
Yes, the Sydney Swans have just kicked another one. They're now leading the Hawthorn Footy Club 13-12-90 to 2-9-27.
Yeah, it's about a 76-point lead up there at SCG. Logan McDonald just kicked 21. His 5th.
Throw that back to Two-Man for now on. When we do
that.
They went to
an
ad break because you asked me. I had no chance.
Daisy trying to do the around the grounds. We love it. Hey, big. After this, we'll get Daisy and Nath Brown to have a look to some other games and just have a look at next weekend as well because there are some cracking games starting with Thursday night. Still plenty to play out. Of course, it is the Bombers leading the Gold Coast by 6 points at half-time. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy, it's time now for a news update with Matty Leighton.
Thank you, guys. New South Wales Premier-elect Chris Minns is vowing to govern for everybody following his historic election win. The Labor leader has held a leadership group meeting this afternoon to discuss the new government's first steps. Last night's result means every state and territory government on the mainland is ruled by the Labor Party. The South Australian Premier says the passing of laws creating an Indigenous voice to Parliament is a momentous change. SA has become the first jurisdiction in Australia to establish an advisory body following a special sitting of Parliament. A man has died after being dumped at a Melbourne hospital with life-threatening injuries. Paramedics treated the man at Casey Hospital this morning, but he could not be revived. The Victorian Premier is off to China for high-level education and infrastructure talks. Daniel Andrews will meet with Communist Party officials during his 5-day visit. And at least 25 people have lost their lives after a tornado ripped through the US state of Mississippi. There are fears the death toll will rise as search and rescue teams comb through the wreckage.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale ends today. Save up to half price off a huge range of quality furniture. Shop at your local Nick Scali showroom or online. Hurry, sale ends today.
Right now at Marvel Stadium, a partly cloudy afternoon and 19 degrees at half-time, with the Bombers holding a 6-point lead over the Suns as Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Straight after this game, join the Temper Mattress call team for West Coast and GWS.
Game on and off the stadium!
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
ROBOT, Robot Building Supplies.
The Man Cave, shed, garage, sports room, home office, whatever you want to call it, Robot Building Supplies has everything to renovate or build it.
Robot's got it.
Metal roofing, cladding, wall panelling.
Robot's got it.
Structural steel, timber, insulation.
Robot's got it.
With 24-hour delivery, get it done fast with Robot Building Supplies. Notting Hill, Sunshine, Preston, Dramana, Pakenham, Coldstream and Darnham. RobotBuildingSupplies.com.au.
ROBOT, Robot Building Supplies.
40 crispy chicken McNuggets are for friends. Together with tangy Cajun sauce, close friends only. Pick up juicy chicken and tangy Cajun at Macca's drive-thru today. Select items available for a limited time.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart.
Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blonde for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Every small business is on a journey, but some are on an obstacle course, jumping from invoicing to marketing to social media. That's why you need Thrive, the all-in-one management software built for small business. Search Thrive, THRYV today.
While you would never run by the pool, Holiday U never stops with daily family cannonball competitions. Find a place to be Holiday U, maybe with a pool, on the What If app. What if? It's Aussie for travel.
$1 upsize deal on Australian-made mattresses now at Harvey Norman. That's right. Simply purchase a selected Australian-made queen-size mattress from big brands King Coil, Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker or Beauty Rest, and for $1 more, upgrade to a king size. Now's the time to update and refresh your sleep with our $1 upsize deal. Harvey Norman, supporting Australian-made and local manufacturing with $1 upsize deal on selected Australian-made mattresses. Shop in-store or online. Limited time only at Harvey Norman. Conditions apply.
You can't go past the IGA Big Deal Sale for great specials right across the store. Like Red Tulip Carnival Rabbit, 180 gram, $3.75 each, half price. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends March 28. Participating stores only.
It's road trip season right now at Repco, where you'll get a ProLift 2,000 kilo garage jack for $99 or a MaxiTrack 12-volt heavy-duty air compressor for $119. Take the trip your car's been dreaming of, only at Repco.
Go full sport with Code Sports, Australia's biggest and most experienced sports news team, featuring leading experts with decades of experience in the game, bringing you the in-depth stories that matter. For all your sport now in the one place, visit Code Sports today.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Straight after this this game, join the Temper Mattress call team for West Coast and GWS.
Game on and off the stadium.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up. The footy's on the radio.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, a wide range of lighting and electrical products, and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
Half-time here at Marvel Stadium, and the Bombers lead 7-6-48. Gold Coast Suns 6-6-42. It's a goal the difference, and it's been an entertaining game as the Suns get back out here. Straight after this, we've got the West Coast up against GWS game, which looms large for a couple of reasons. The West Coast Eagles just need to win this game. They were pretty poor against North Melbourne last week, and the Giants have started well.
Yeah, they certainly have. It's interesting. A lot's been made of the Giants playing in those really warm conditions. Whether or not then backing up and travelling over west is going to affect them. And everyone giving the West Coast Eagles a real show on the back of that, because they need to be better, and we're still a little bit confused as to why they are producing the performances they are. They're starting to get some more senior players out. The youth coming through is starting to improve. However, the results are still very much the same and very much in that poor category.
Choice hotels around the grounds. Ash, what happened earlier today?
I'm glad that I've been banned from that after my halftime clanger. Ash, you're back on the tools.
Sydney Swans, thanks, Daisy. Too good. They absolutely destroyed the Hawks, winning by 81 points, 17-16. 118 to Hawthorn, 4-13-37. Logan McDonald, a PB in terms of majors with 5, Brownie.
And there's some Premier cricket still going on. The preliminary final this weekend, Daisy, between Carlton and St Kilda. St Kilda in the first innings amassed 313, but spare a thought for Jay Merlot, who got run out for 99.
The swirl and the Merlot.
Yes. Oh. Yes, no, wait, sorry.
Out.
I'm on 99.
That's not ideal.
All right, Ash, give us some stats that you may not have given the other boys then.
Bit of a filler for Reds. Here we go. It's those centre clearances, 8-5 Essendon's way. They've been damaging. They've kicked 2-2 from that score source. But the Suns, if you look at their front half game, twice as many forward half intercepts in comparison to the Bombers. They've had 10 to Essendon's 5. And you look at the ball movement from Essendon. They were on fire last week. They went at 42% from D50 and putting it inside 50. Today, only at 15, but they've been damaging and efficient, Brownie. From those 3 chains from their D50, they've nailed 3 goals straight, so that might be concern for Stewie Jew.
We no longer give the 3-2-1 for worst on ground like we used to, but just who needs to work on their game for both sides?
If we look at the Triple M Red Z, you look at, we don't want to pick on some of these youngsters, but high expectations. Archie Perkins, 20 disposals, 3 majors. Just the 5 touches, and he's kicked the goal in the first half. Dyson Heppel, he's been well down with just the 5 possessions. And we flick over to the Gold Coast Suns. Holman, we know he's a battler, very in terms of... No, he's intense.
No,
we love him.
Bang.
We love him with his endeavour and all that, but he's just had the one possession. And...
Would you like a shovel?
No one here to support me.
Any other battlers?
No, Flanders. He's a big
battler.
pre-season. He's been pretty quiet. Just 7 disposals. No, he's had a great story, Nick Holman, for his scoring football. Carlton, as you know, then he was out of the system for a couple of years and back on the Suns list, so he's one of my favourites.
Absolutely, we can tell that. Not a 6-point lead. I thought the highlight of that first half was the team goal from the Bombers, Daisy. The ball started at half-back, chain of handballs. They were involved the whole way down, and so too was Alwyn Davey. But in the end, it was a ball picked up by Draper. He sold some candy. He wanted to kick the goal, but he ended up giving off to Martin. It was a great goal by the Bombers.
Yeah, that's arguably their best passage of play in terms of how we think we will expect to see them play going forward in this one. That overlap handball has been really effective for them tonight or this afternoon, just in turning the Gold Coast players around or just making them make pressing decisions as they come forward on defence. And then they've been good enough. The next play just getting to the space that's provided from that pressing player. So on that occasion, they went the length of the field. And there is no doubt in anyone's mind that big Scotty Draper did not want to give that off. He'd given the fend off. He was just trying to sell some candy and waltz into the open goal, but he was selfless enough in the end.
Yep, his name's Sam. Don't call him Scotty again. 7-6-48. Gold Coast Suns 6-6-42. Beacon Trade supporting tradies with over 120 stores nationwide, expert trade teams and exclusive trade services. Huge range of lights, fans and electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
You boys still sticking to your pre-game selections? Daisy, you went Gold Coast. Still think they can win?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they're poised in this one. I think they've done a really good job to hang around. Arguably given up a few easy goals, so could be in front. They find themselves 6 points down. Pretty happy. Stevie?
I think the Bombers still, I think the Suns have exerted a little bit more energy than the Bombers.
Well, let's see what this second half can produce. Bombers leading by 6 points. And make sure you head to Macca's for 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a one-handed grab that is. We're underway. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Draper, beautiful tap down to Shield. Couldn't get the hands free. Merritt just handballs to space. Rao had an excellent first half. Squeezes a kick, but only as far as Redmond, who also had an excellent first half.
Play on.
Takes the mark at half back and wants to look to attack through the corridor. Kicks it wide to a one-on-one towards half forward. Good work. Heppel took a mark on Elijah Hollins.
Play on.
Just forward of the wing. He's going to wheel, and if you thought his handball was bad in the second quarter, that kick was even worse. He was lucky to hit his foot. Absolute shank, and it was picked off by Charlie Constable.
So he plays on to the outer side. It's a 2-on-1 out there for the Bombers, and they'll win this footy back, but they gave away a free kick. Pushing the back to Lukosius.
Just no need to there. Could have locked the man down, let Heppel come across, third man in.
His kick to half forward, looking for King. Goes the spoil to bring it down to ground level. Opportunity now for Ainsworth. His handball back to Hollins. Inside forward 50, the chip, and he was looking for Ash's man Holman. But
how many intercept marks there from Redmond there, True?
Yeah, intercept marks. That's number 4, Steve.
Parrish.
In the back pocket for the Bombers. Again, goes long to a contest. Ballard was in that one. Numbers at ground level for Essendon. Heppel, Perkins tried to ride the tackle, but then couldn't get the handball free. Ballard picks it up, lowers the eyes, looking for Choosman Holman couldn't take it. Ainsworth snap around the body, just for a behind. First score of the second half goes the way of the Gold Coast. They're 6-7-43. Essendon 7-6-48. Triple M Beacon trade scoreboard.
I reckon David Roden's the best goal umpire in the caper. Just the movement there to get in position, Joey.
Still moves well.
It's a wide ball. It's going to be out of bounds on the full from the Bombers. Ridley just sprayed it wide.
Put on the line, Harrison. Put on the line. Play on.
Free kick to the Suns. They quickly reload to the top of the square. Where are the Flyers? King can't mark it. At ground level, Holman was there. Couldn't pick it up. Ridley got it out the back towards Redmond. Redmond's handball to Zirk Thatcher. Sent him a task at his feet. Redmond had to go back in and get it and clean it up, and he did to Laverde. Martin, Merritt, back to Martin. Good transference of play. The handball game was good. Martin goes again. Parrish, Merritt at half back. Now they can run and move. Kick to Perkins on centre wing. Perkins looks up, wants to come into the middle. Does to Heppel. Hopefully he can hit his foot this time, Heppel. This has been a good move by the Bombers. Wants to feed off. Gets back to his left now. Left foot. Just as poor as the last one. Straight back to Rowell. And a really good build-up goes to waste.
It was a nice build-up. They had their chance, and now it's the Suns that have got a good build-up. Noah Anderson through the middle. He waited for it, Fiorini, or Flanders it was, in fact. Just took the mark in front of Redmond. Weller running past. There's only one person quicker than Weller. That's Davey. Nearly mowed him down, but a beautiful kick from Weller. Shoeman, it went to Holman, who then gave it off to Lukosius, and that wasn't a great kick. Off one step. He had Lukosius over the top, missed him. And it went through from behind. Robbo, Bob Jane T-Marks.
Yeah, Lockie well hasn't lost any pace to that ACL. He did it back in round 12 against North Melbourne last year. Got back in 9 months. They're rotating him, so they're monitoring him, but he started off pretty well in this second half.
That's a better kick from Heppel. Redmond off his knee, went back and he got it. He ran through a couple of them. He keeps going, Redmond. Tried to clean up his mistake, but unfortunately, the Suns got it back through and Bill up. He was pushed it, he kicked it. Trying to dive, mark the ball down there was Ainsworth. He claimed it, but the umpire said no.
They're just killing themselves with their fundamental skills at the moment. Low handballs to players and missed kicks going forward. An AFL player in the current day should be able to execute these skills better than what both teams are at the moment.
Ainsworth taking a while to get up. He's really sucking in the big ones on all fours at the moment. Slowly gets up. He was airborne parallel to the ground, and he's still, with the ball going on around him, got his back to the footy. It's a strange sight. He is winded bad. So ball up. Caldwell was there. Trying to pick up the ball was Fiorini. Holman. Nice handball. Lukosius. Short ball misses the target. Again, they miss the target out of bounds.
Really scrappy from both sides out of the halftime break. No real energy or intensity in this one. Skills have been very poor, as we've touched on. Gold Coast Suns, if they are going to mount a comeback, albeit only 4 points down, they need to make the most of this field position and territory.
If one of these teams wants to take this game by the scruff of the neck, I reckon it's there for them. They're both going to get their chances. It's just who can execute and make the most of opportunities from this throw-in. A lot of numbers around the ball, still scrapping. Caldwell, he's also sucking in the big ones. There's about 12 players around this.
Well, the Suns have dropped 2 players behind the ball here, so if Essendon do win the ball around the stoppage here, they're going to have to be good with their hands.
Throw up inside 50. Martin just tried to throw it on the boot, only as far as Swallow. Kicks a high ball into the pocket. Someone's going to have courage to sit under it. Ridley did, couldn't take the mark. Well done, McGrath. Mopped it up and then works with a few other defenders to get the 1-2 and switches it wide. It's a good kick. Can it work for Kelly? Good pressure from Elijah Hollins. Just did enough to get the hand in and not give away the free kick. And get that ball out of bounds, just forward of the wing for the Gold Coast Suns. They're trailing by 4 points. Two-man.
The Suns' kick efficiency in the front half of the ground, they're going at 42%. Bombers at 66. The AFL average is 57.
It's a boundary throw-in on the City side of the ground. Merritt running arc and got the handball back to Shield, who was standing still. Now he's got some time to move. Shield a half forward. Davies the target. Can't mark it because coming in was Collins. He read it beautifully. He's had the measure of Jones today. His short ball to centre half back. Anderson runs off. Perkins chases him. Beautiful kick. Really good kick. He got it out to Rowell. Rowell inside forward 50. 1-on-1 to King. That was sharp movement. Haven't seen that much today, but that was nice.
No, that's some better deliveries to King there. He has been forward of the footy, but they haven't been able to kick it to his advantage as well as they did there. That was the kick from Anderson to Rao, the 2 best mates, and then on to King, the future of the Suns.
He's had 8 disposals. It's his first mark. He's scoreless. He's getting back into his stride at the moment, King, after that knee injury. 30 out, slight angle. Pushes it to the right, but squeezes it enough. Goal to the Suns, and they're back in front. 7-8-50. The Bombers are 7-6-48. Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Hopefully that gets them going, the Gold Coast Suns, because they've had the ball living in their forward half on that occasion. It went down the other end, but just sliced the Bombers through the middle of the ground. There's a little bit of a key, that ability to hit your kicks low and flat, but execute your skills and then turn that Essendon defence around. When you see the one-on-ones, when you are shoulders out, just put it to the advantage. You've got the big boys down there in Casbolt and in King. Really nice bit of work there from King.
Good footy from the Suns from half-back. Go forward. That's the modern game. Don't go lateral. Challenge the defence, and it's the 7th lead change of this game. And just like they did to start the game, the Gold Coast Suns dominating early. Can they sustain it in this third quarter? They lead by 2 points. Phillips and Witts. Parrish couldn't get the handball free. Ainsworth recovered from that winding moment. Now Noah Anderson has time to wheel and kick a really high ball. It's going to suit Lukosius, who leaves it for Fiorini, who then had a little look. Ball bounces now. Roses gets on the left. Clever kick inboard. Finds Swallow. 55 metres out. Too far for him. Essendon have got numbers back. He's looking at some options, and then, Durham just fell asleep on his opponent, Fiorini, who's taken the mark 45 metres out in a 45-degree angle, and he's good enough to kick this.
Really loose checking there from the Bombers. Just waiting and taking a lane, trying to worry about where King and Casbolt were coming from. Forgot to follow his direct opponent. Disappointing there if you're a Bombers fan. And the Bombers coaching box, not happy with that one whatsoever on the Harvey Norman.
Braden Fiorini had a bit of a stop-start career. Still just 77 games. Played a lot of VFL footy last year. Normally a good kick from 45 out. He's got it. Gold Coast have got 2 in a row to start this third term. And they get out to 8 points on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 8-8-56. Essendon 7-6-48. Supporting tradies with over 120 stores. Expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Yeah, young Durham there. He just lost track of his opponent. His opponent started to head back into the traffic. That's where he had to just hold his ground and sit in the space. He also needs some communication from the blokes behind him to say, hold your ground, hold your space, so that space doesn't open up. And loose checking, as Daisy touched on, gave them an easy opportunity to kick a goal, and he kicked truly.
So an 8-point lead now to the Suns. They get the first 2 of the third term, and the Bombers, questions are being asked. So on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay, Eddie Jones, was it? The rugby union great. Down towards half forward, the Suns go again. Mark dropped down there by the Bombers. Heppel went through, charging. Merritt turns around, and then this is a big kick. If it comes off, it's huge. It's a 50-50 ball. Getting back there first with the Suns, and Holman, Ash's man, tried to pick it up. He's been good this quarter since Ash gave him a clip at half-time. 11 ball up. 55 out from the Suns' goal. Playing the better footy at the moment.
Bombers going to have to hang in here. Gold Coast have got the momentum. There's going to be a free kick in the ruck. It's going to go the way of Witzel. Rao took the advantage. It's going to come back, though. Luckily, because Rao missed it. In fact, it wasn't going to be to Witz, even though he was held. It was going to go to David Swallow, who was pushed in the back at that stoppage.
It's a clear push in the back.
So David Swallow, again, he's going to be about 55 metres out where he was only a few minutes ago when he hit Fiorini. Gold Coast have all gone into a bit of a scrum. There's about 8 of them all blocking for each other. And now they're all spreading and leading into the pocket. The kick goes towards King. Big fly, couldn't take the mark. He might rove his own crumb. Gave the handball to Lukosius. Screws it around the body cleverly. Brilliant kick from Lukosius to Witz, who's taken the mark, top of the square.
Really nice piece of work there from the Gold Coast Suns. They already come together. There's a bit of afters going on down there. No surprises that Hollywood Holman's in there. The battler.
Witz for 3 on the trot for the Suns. And to put the Bombers under a bit of pressure, he's got it. And they're just skipping away now, out to 14 points. That might be a game high, man. 14-point lead.
Spot on, Joey.
9-8-62, the Gold Coast, Essendon 7-6-48. 12 minutes to play, third term, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, as I was touching on, really well done there. 70 metres out. Not really sure where they wanted to go, so the forwards all got back together and just started creating chaos, running, blocking for each other, constant movement. Then they all spread out and fanned. The kick then went into a big one-on-one. King provided the contest, and then when it came out the back to Lukosius, he was good enough. He was pinned up against the point post. Presence of mind to have a quick look inside, execute the skill across his body and find Witz at the top of the square. Really nice passage of play from the Gold Coast Suns from the set piece.
Triple M Red Z inside 50s this quarter, 9-3 the Suns' way. They're dominating the centre clearances at 3-zip. Overall, clearances are 6-1 the Suns' way.
Feel like Holman's lifted him this quarter, Ash.
He has for Triple M Red Z, up to 2 touches in this quarter.
Good Kyabram boy, Stevie. Out of the middle, the Bombers go. First time they've been inside forward 50 for a while. Ball got out the black. Collins is the first one there. Opportunity. Good tackle laid down there by the Suns. Their defensive pressure's been outstanding, and they win a free kick. To the young man, Hewlin. In his back pocket. He's able to just get past Caldwell a bit too easily on the mark, and a good ball towards centre wing. Ridley gets it out of bounds. So Brad Scott looking unimpressed on the Harvey Norman replay.
There's been some strange units come from Kyabram, Brownie.
Oh yes, he certainly has. Who's the strangest?
I think one of your ex-teammates.
Here we go, important stoppage.
Maybe 2.
Bombers win it. Good handball. Heppel, centre field. Parrish with a bit of time and space. 80 out, pops it over the top to Langford. Although he's marked it wide and deep in the pocket, just inside 50 on the boundary line. So he won't go for goal. He'll kick it to the top of the square. Durham owes him one. Couldn't take the mark. He might crumb his own ball. He did, but he couldn't get the hands free. Well done, Gold Coast again. Scrapping away. It's going to be paid a throw, though. And it's going to be big Flip Phillips. He'll take the free kick.
Noah.
Top of the square.
Yeah. Everyone, clear the area, please.
We have a look here on the replay. It was Charlie Constable who did throw it up. The one hand tried to put it into the path of his teammate. Umpire right onto it.
Thanks, Andrew.
But he had one taken away from him earlier in the game when the advantage was paid. And Flip Phillips to get them back within 8 points. From straight in front. He's got it. Bombers needed that one. They're 8-6-54. Gold Coast 9-8-62. Back to 8 points. Plenty of time in this third quarter. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Really reliable set shot for a big man. I'm just having a look at him here on the Harvey Norman. He hasn't missed a session in the gym.
No.
Have a look at those Warwick Farms on him. He is absolutely jacked, the big man.
And he didn't caress that ball through from 20 metres out, did he? He put that up into the corporate suite.
Yeah, that's one of the things he always does. No matter if he's 5 metres out or 55, it's the same motion. So he's obviously found that technique that works for him. Usually kicks him pretty high too, so not ideal sometimes at the MCG with the wind. But just trusting that process, he goes back, swings that leg right through. A really nice kick for goal for a big man.
Robbo, Matt Guelphy down there just getting a rub down, maybe coming on as the sub soon.
Yeah, Brownie, he's been doing that all game, so just teasing us, but we'll see.
Free kick in the middle. Going to go to the Suns. Casbolt, Miller, restarts it quickly. Looking for King, ball got out the back. Zirk Thatcher was there. The Bombers through D'Ambrosio. Good kick, really good kick on his right foot. Shield couldn't mark it, probably should have marked it. Opportunity now for Setterfield. Went back in. McGrath, they run and carry the Bombers. They need to find a way through. They do now. Setterfield, short ball. They've got runners out everywhere at the moment. The Bombers can run it through Caldwell. 55 out, inside forward, 50 and a good kick finds Langford. And Collins, I reckon he's hurt his elbow trying to spoil that ball. And he's hurt Langford as well. They're both down and taking a while to get up.
Yeah, it might be point of the shoulder here. You'll find Brownie on the Harvey Norman replay.
Stinger.
Langford did a really nice job protecting the ball drop. Just turned. Collins came flying in, trying to spoil just that shoulder right in the smalls of the back of Langford. Nice passage of play again from the Bombers, though. That overlap handball making their Gold Coast defenders press out is where they're falling down.
It's a good kick from Caldwell. And Langford now up against the boundary line. He'll cross the 50 on his run up to kick from about 46 metres. Right foot on the way, sets it up. Can they take a mark at ground level? Opportunity. Free kick should go to Long. He was tackled out the football. Umpire said play on. Ball squeezed out and the Gold Coast Sun cleared the area.
Not for long though, because Essendon got 3-on-1, although Roses might do really well to get this out of bounds. He keeps it going along the boundary line. He couldn't though. Well done, McGrath. Worried him out of the contest. Now the chain of handballs again. Durham, Caldwell, inboard, Shield. Should have gone to Merritt the first time, then took too long, got it to Redmond, put him under pressure. Handball now gets to Merritt inside the centre square, pops into the path of Davey. Well done, Long, got across, got the spoil. McPherson under pressure, goes towards Jeffrey one-on-one. Should have been a mark. Laverde wasn't paid. Essendon have got the numbers. Took Miller went harder than Merritt. Couldn't take possession. Big ball to be won. Swallows kick smothered. Well done by Davey. Got the handball. Oh, Draper tapped into the path of Caldwell. He wanted a free kick. Umpire's going to pay it. Good, tough contest through there. Players committing their bodies everywhere. And in the end, Jai Caldwell's going to get the free kick. Man on the mark.
There's Redmond.
On the square. Caldwell. He's just going to wait and see what he wants to do. He might kick this into the pocket. He does a little three-quarter kick for Phillips. It's over his head. Where are the Crummers? Setterfield. He was the one that stayed down. Stuck around the body. He's got his first. Bombers get 2 in a row, and they're back to within 2 points. 9-6-60, Gold Coast 9-8-62. Good response. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well done to the Bombers there. Just number after number coming into that contest, going low, hard, committing themselves to that contest. Smart bit of work there from Draper. As we see down here on the Harvey Norman, Robbo looks like Guelphy's taken the sweater off, getting ready to come on the ground.
Well, he nearly ran on without the GPS and no indication, whatever that, to pull him back. So he sat back down and just treading water until they work things out. So he's not on the ground yet, boys.
So the first 3 of the quarter went to the Suns, and now the last 2 to the Bombers, and this game's gone up a notch. 2-point lead to the Suns for McDonald Rim Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Bounce when at right angles. He'll come back in and bounce it or ball it up. Umpire quickly gets it back in the air. Witts Wants the handball. Went with the underground one, looking for Rao. Rao paddles it in front of him. Shield had him from behind. Good enough to get his left foot to it. Down towards Ainsworth. Dropped the mark. Went back. Got it. Left foot. It'll go all the way to the top of the square. Bombers get back in numbers. And Zirk Thatcher, body on the line stuff, gets it over a rush behind. 3-point lead to the Suns. 63 plays 60.
I'm liking Zirk Thatcher. Yep. He's developing as a key defender. Very good last week, and he's kept Ben King just to 1 goal today. They've been crying out for a tall fullback to help out Laverde, Ridley and co. Heppel's kick towards Caldwell, couldn't take the mark. Langford, wrapped up by Hewland. In front of the interchange gates. Gold Coast to the right of the broadcast. Essendon led by 2 at quarter time, led by 6 at half time. Now the Suns lead by 3. Draper tried to grab it out of the ruck. Merritt, little handball, didn't go far. Hard footy to be won. Who wants the hard ball? Noah Anderson gets it. And then just handballs it 15 metres into space. Bounced over the head of Jake Kelly. That was a bit unlucky. Ainsworth might make him pay outside of the boot. Just hit the post. Good effort. 9-10-64. Essendon 9-6-60. Triple M beat trade scoreboard.
Solid by D-Rod behind the goals again. So Redmond. His side trails by 4 points. At 6 minutes 50 to go before three-quarter time. Turning into a good game of footy. Redmond goes long, looking for Draper. He's up against Witts. Jones floated across the front. The ball gets out of bounds. The boundary throw in. So here comes Guelphy, Robbo.
K for Heppel, I reckon. So Guelphy on. And Heppel, I tell you what, Guelphy nearly ran on. They had nearly 19 men on the ground. So lucky he got in the back row again. Paperwork's just been handed over to the AFL.
Quite a big roar for Guelphy when he came on, but the Suns will go forward through Rao. Left foot, half forward. Opportunity now for the Suns. Jeffrey, right foot, because they get the bounce. It doesn't. Through for one behind. That's a missed opportunity. As Heppel goes off. He doesn't know he's been subbed off yet. He's just been given the red shirt and he's not happy about it either.
I don't think he is.
65 plays 60.
Looks like Alex Sexton warming up for the Gold Coast Suns as well, the sub. Of course, first year it can be used as a tactical sub for the clubs. They don't have to pretend to have an injury. There's Durham. Couldn't quite take the mark. Just worried out of it by Ballard. Good handball though. Shield. D'Ambrosio. Handball smothered by Twick Miller. Goes and gets it on the left boot. Tries to go looking for King into the pocket. Overshot the kick. Out of bounds on the full. It's gone up a notch this third quarter. Chew some of the numbers for Red Z Lending.
Yeah, Matty Rowell, he's number 1 ranked player in this quarter. 6 disposals, a couple of clearances, and he's put it inside 53 times.
Robbo, Bob Jane, Team Arts.
So we've got Heppel off for Guelphy and we've got Fiorini for Sexton. So they made the swap. The Suns just pulled the trigger at the same time.
Break away from the Bombers. Merritt through centre wing. Long ball Davey. Opportunity ground level. Guelphy just freshly on the ground. Got the handball out. Free kick picked out by the umpire. And Guelphy's first action was a holding the ball decision against him. Inside 50 numbers this quarter, Ash.
Triple M Red Z in favour of the Suns, Brownie, 14-9.
Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed. RADZED.com. The Suns now move the ball end to end. Here's Ash's man Holman from Kyabram. Left foot inside forward 50, looking for Casbolt, fisted away, and Zirk Thatcher, Joey's man, doing really well, and then sold some candy. How about himself? Got it back to Shield. Laverde settles him down, half back, looked to centre wing. Sitting underneath that was Ballard, couldn't mark it. Ball slapped free. Getting back was Long. Collins high up and under ball. Perkins goes for it, can't mark it, and here's Big Draper.
He gave the handball off to Parrish. He didn't really want to. He wanted to run and carry himself. Sweeping handball. Now Harry Jones. Langford again's taking his third mark in the exact same spot on the ground. Just inside 50, just inside the boundary line. And both times he's kicked it to the top of the square.
They have looked dangerous at ground level when they've gone deep with this kick. It's predictable for their forwards. They know that this is going to end up at the top of the square. Unless he thinks he can make the distance on this occasion, it looks like it's going to be a pretty deliberate approach.
Let's see what he decides to do. It'll take a fair kick from here. He's going to kick this one from 46 metres out, like Brownie said about 3 minutes ago.
50 metres, that's the metres.
Oh, and there's been something off the ball. A free kick off the ball.
Just stop. Had he already kicked it? Had he already kicked it when the whistle went?
It's going to be
Okay, so it's a 50-metre penalty then? Yes.
a 50-metre penalty to the Bombers.
I think someone got Guelphy off the ball.
There was a Harvey Norman replay. Guelphy's holding the back of his head.
It's Ballard.
An elbow to the back of the head from Charlie Ballard in the goal square. Has meant Cole Langford is going to stroll in for his third. And the Bombers are back in front. They conceded the first three of the term. They've kicked the last three. Good game of footy. 10-6, 66. Gold Coast 9-11, 65. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon making every tradie's job easier.
Yeah, well, I think Stewie Jew will be extremely disappointed with that action. I mean, the last thing you ever want to see as a coach is when a player from the opposition is having a shot on goal, which is probably a 3 out of 10 opportunity. On the Harvey Norman replay we see here, just really, really poor stuff from Ballard. I mean, he was reacting, but you just can't do that when the opposition's having a shot on goal.
First three of the quarter to the Suns, last three to the Bombers. For McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M Rocks footy, bounce in the middle. Phillips got up high, but Witts won it. Anderson holding the ball. Bombers go again. Setterfield on the left. He's already kicked the goal this quarter to half forward. Perkins can't mark it. Davey, ground level, went back in. I thought he might have got a high one. Ball spills out. Guelphy inches the ball forward. Lukosius has to be clean with the footy, and he is. It'll be a bouncing ball, 50-50. Roses read it well. D'Ambrosio's there too. Ball jarred free. McGrath, quick handball. Merritt. D'Ambrosio, Milne, a good user. Left foot inside forward, 50. Only Suns are back, and they mark it through Collins.
Under a bit of pressure here, the Suns, late in this quarter, 3 minutes left. Essendon pressing, and Miller still running hard. Great spread from Tuke Miller to provide an option, and then he hits two-man's Holman. Short kick. Mark taken. Sexton the sub. Wheels and goes. Kicks it long and high. Joel Jeffrey will fly at the back. Ridley got the fist in. Ball will stay in. Ridley trying to get his own ball. Rose is looking dangerous. Joel Jeffrey's a clever player. Snaps around the body. Doesn't strike it well enough. And it goes out of bounds. Hit the behind post.
Robbo, just give us a quick update on what's happened down to the bench for Bob Jane teammates.
Yeah, Guelphy on and Sexton on. Heppel off, as you said, pretty unhappy. Didn't know too much about it. And Fiorini for the Gold Coast, he's off.
Robbo for Bob Jane teammates. Boundary throw in. 2:38 to go before three-quarter time. Witts tracked it back out of the ruck to Sexton from the boundary line. Across the face. And Laverty marked it in front of Casbolt. Short ball at the feet of D'Ambrosio. Good enough to pick it up off his bootlaces. And out wide, and Charlie Ballard, who gave up that last goal, fisted out of bounds in front of Durham. Boundary throw in. Heppel still can't believe he was subbed out.
Andrew, Jared. Real game of momentum here. Interesting to see who can get out and top at three-quarter time.
So the boundary throw in. The Bombers have had some good running moments in this quarter, but Merritt was run down from behind by Ash's man, who's really stepped up in this quarter. The Cladburn flower and Holman back inside forward 50. Jeffrey, the only opportunity, brings it to ground level. The Bombers have got the numbers. Laverty has to be clean. He was to McGrath, and McGrath's kick's good to Durham.
Been good today, McGrath. True, Red Z lenders, Sandy McGrath.
Yeah, Triple M Red Z. Joey McGrath, 19 touches, 80% by foot.
I've liked his game. He's been good. Kick long to a contest. Witts too strong for Phillips. Takes the intercept mark. Wants to get it moving. Gave it to Charlie Constable. Goes back into the pocket. Casbolt flies. Well done, Laverde. Great crumb, Ainsworth. Got it to Sexton. He knows how to sniff out a goal. He loves the goal, Alex Sexton. And the subs come on and had an impact straight away. Gold Coast back in front. 10-11-71. Essendon 10-6, 66. Minute and a half left in the third term.
Well, Ballard owed his team one from that brain fade down there on the goal line up the other end. He was the man who came across from that long kick out. Good enough to affect the spoil, just keeping that ball inside their half of the ground. As a result of that, a few passages to play go on, but just a nice crumb there. Casbolt provided the contest, shared him around, and Alex Sexton, one of the great snappers in the game.
This was a nice give by Ainsworth. It was instinctive. I don't think Stevie would have been giving this one off, so he roved it nicely. The goals were there. And a beautiful give, Stevie.
Yeah, bring his teammate into the play, Nate. That's what good players do. You wouldn't have passed it.
I wouldn't
No
have.
chance.
No chance.
You would have gone left foot Nani.
Minute 26 left before three-quarter time. 5-point lead. Setterfield's been good. Parrish, Merritt, handball to the big death metal man, Phillips. He should have given it to Setterfield, but he went long and he looked for Langford, who's the man of the moment, and he marks. This is for number 4. Marked everything that's come his way in this third term.
He's going to go to the J curve.
So it's about 15 out.
He just called it the J curve.
It's quite a cute. I heard it.
Dennis Cometti started it.
So he's going to run around. This for 4. And with the Bombers back in front, Langford gets it. And the Bombers answer again. 72 plays 71, Beacon Trade scoreboard.
That becomes an equal PB for Kyle Langford with the 4 goals. Centre clearances again becoming important for this one. The Bombers been dominant in that area all afternoon. Big Phillips there. Took it, looked up. He had Setterfield running shotgun. Arguably should have given him the handball. But at least the decision he made, he was confident in it. Put it in long to a one-on-one, an advantage side to Langford, who was good enough and did the rest. Got some really good craft for a bloke who plays a lot midfield. He actually uses the body really well, protects the drop zone.
Yeah, real funny footballer, isn't he? Kyle Langford got so much upside. Still 26 years of age, 192 centimetres. Chew, what are his numbers? Kyle Langford having some sort of game.
He's taken 4 marks alone inside the attacking 50. That's all in this quarter, Joey. And 10 touches for the game, 4 zip, equal PB.
That's been a great move without Stringer, without Peter Wright. Sam Wiedemann are laid out. They needed someone to step up, and it's Langford. The Bombers back in front by a point. 39 seconds left in this third term. After a bit of a scrappy start, 4 goals apiece in this quarter. Both sides desperate for the win. Weller, quick kick to half forward. Been a good matchup, D'Ambrosio on Roses. Roses worked him out of it, then gave the handball up to Ainsworth. This time he didn't have a crack for goal. Kicked it along the ground, looking for King. Casbolt just shoved Laverde out the way, picked it up, and then tried to handball. Nearly missed the fist. Roses gets the 1-2, gets around on the left boot, has a snap. Gee, they've had a few cracks out of this quarter, the Suns. And we're all tied up. 10-12-72. Essendon 11-6-72.
10 seconds for the Bombers to go coast to coast. Or do they play it safe? Ridley is the man to do the kicking in. He comes wide to the boundary side. Phillips, he can't mark it. Perkins at ground level. And that'll be it. Entertaining quarter of football. And we're all square. The Gold Coast Suns 10-12-72. The Bombers are 11-6-72. We're back after the break with Stevie J and Daisy Thomas for the Triple M C-Bus Super Special comments. But we're all squared away at Marvel Stadium for McDonald's Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, a wide range of lighting and electrical products, and expert trade teams who offer the best services, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
head to Macca's for 10 chicken McBites for just $3. What a one-handed grab.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
Indian low-cost airline SpiceJet. They've grounded 2 of its pilots after they allegedly consumed coffee and pastries inside the cockpit. Yeah. You know, the thruster thing. He's got his coffee rested just in behind that.
It's like leaving it in the middle of my desk here.
Oh,
you would never. It's over.
Except you haven't got 300 people sitting out the back.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Be rewarded your way. For a limited time, you can choose to enjoy double status credits or double Qantas points on all eligible Qantas-operated flights worldwide. Whether you're planning multiple trips across Australia or dreaming of a big overseas adventure, there's no limit to the number of flights you can book and no better time to set your status credits or Qantas points soaring. Hurry! Register and book by March 28 at qantas.com/be rewarded.
Stay cool at Bottle Mart. Babe, why is the fridge over there? I can't see the TV from there.
If you get 2 Vodka Cruisers Blueberry or Pom Pom 4-packs for $28, you could win a limited edition Vodka Cruiser Originals bar fridge.
Oh, I could have a fridge right here next to the couch.
You'd barely have to move to grab a carton of Pure Blend for $48.99.
I could serve Captain Morgan Original Spice Gold, Gordon's Gin or Smirnoff Red Vodka 1 litre for $59.99 each. And some snacks, maybe some cheese.
You know this isn't happening even if you do win the fridge, right? Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Australia, now is the best time to enjoy Aussie fresh fruit and veg.
Right now, 100% Aussie shepherd avocados are in season and just $1.80 each.
Coles, value the Australian way.
Offer ends Tuesday.
On now at Harvey Norman. Huge run-out deals on LG 2022 TVs. Be quick for clearance prices across the LG 2022 TV range. Save $400 on the LG 65-inch QNED 91 4K Mini LED Smart TV. Now $1,545. Save $600 on LG 65-inch CS 4K OLED Smart TV. $2,295. Shop in-store or online while stocks last. Hurry. Huge run-out deals on LG 2022 TVs and Sunday at Harvey Norman.
Does your home or business have solar? You might be leaving money on the table without a Red Earth energy storage battery system. Eliminate your bills and make money by selling your excess power. Visit redearth.energy today. Built in Australia by Australians for Australian conditions.
See the unseen with the Bosch Measuring Tools Detection Range. Making tough work easier. Get it done right the first time round with accurate measurements and no more second guessing before you drill. Bosch radar technology in the D-Tex 200C ensures you never miss hidden cables, plastic pipes, metals and more, helping you stay safe on site. All backed by an industry-leading 6-year guarantee. The Bosch Measuring Tools Detection Range. In-store and online at Blackwoods, Sydney Tools and Total Tools.
This is Jason. Hi. And this is Jason's RAV4. But luckily, this is Stephen.
Hello.
Stephen runs a successful auto parts store on eBay. So, Steve makes a sale and Jason gets the part he needs.
All right. Yes.
So when you're fixing your car, get your car parts from sellers who love cars like you do. On eBay.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Tough on and off the field.
As the Bombers by 2 at quarter time, the Bombers by a goal at half time, and now scores are level 72 apiece. 4 goals each in that third term. And this is set up for a massive finish. Straight after this, West Coast up against the GWS. Lockie Reed, Tom Atkinson, Andrew Wembley, Xavier Ellis, Britt Taylor, and the Beast, Mark Comedy, as we head to the back row. Triple M Super special comments. Who's going to win?
I'm still sticking with Essendon. I think they were wasteful by foot. Their handballing was also a bit off. I think their execution of the fundamentals wasn't there in the first half of that quarter. In saying that, the Gold Coast Suns have had 22 scoring shots to 17, but it will be the team that can execute their skills under pressure in this final term that will come away with the 4 points.
Now, the Gold Coast Suns inside 50 there, so they had 6 more inside 50s, 13-9. Of Essendon's 13, they were able to kick 4 straight. The Gold Coast Suns kicked 4 goals, 6, Stevie, so arguably should be further in front than what this scoreboard is at the moment. I'm still pretty happy to stay in the Gold Coast camp. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They just need to fix up a little bit from that centre bounce. Every time the ball goes back there, it feels like Essendon are getting it out and scoring on the back of that. So if they can tidy that up, I'm still pretty confident in my tip here.
Robbo, Bob Jane, T. Marks.
Yeah, big Draper had his left ankle strapped there at 3/4 time. And just looking at the body language of Heppel too, still not happy. Didn't even know he was taken off the ground. Seriously, they threw him the shirt. So he's got to suck that up. Age, I tell you what, it gets to you.
Ash, Triple M Red Z lending stats.
Yeah, length in that third quarter, 5 disposals, 4 marks inside 50, 2 goals straight.
Here's Lee Montagna on Triple M footy to start the last quarter.
Sets up for a cracking fourth quarter for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Witts grabs it out of the ruck. Squeezes a little kick to centre half forward. Holman. Good tackle, Redmond. Been a good battle between those two. Holding the ball. Redmond's numbers, Red Z.
19 disposals, 6 marks, 4 intercept.
He comes out wide, looking for Durham. I've liked this kid's game. He's got the sit on Swallow, who back hard. Ball spills out to centre field. Handball's back to Durham, who can go across to Shield, who's on his left. He's sold a little candy, doesn't go for goal. Kicks it into the pocket to the hot hand Langford. Good defence from young Hewlin, Bodie Hewlin. A local academy boy gets the fist in, out of bounds, right forward pocket.
Shield could have taken off and probably had a shot on goal. There would have been his third.
Thanks, Cole.
So a lot of players around this footy. Umpire spins it back in. Witts and Langford, as you'd expect. Witts won that nicely. Shield, Setterfield. Had a crack at him, but I think he's put it out of bounds on the full, and he has.
At the 9.
So Anderson
Noah. Thank you.
brought back around the mark by the umpire.
Draper's down the line here for the Bombers.
Yeah, he's going to have to watch where he kicks this one, and Anderson goes in that direction now. That man you spoke about, Draper, will be up, and he's fisting it back. Miller, opportunity, back from Ainsworth. Miller's handball. That's holding the ball. The ball's going to come back. And Setterfield had a big game again, Ash.
Swiftly disposal, number 21, along with 7 tackles and a major.
They talked a big game about his pre-season, that he was flying, and he sets it to the top of the square. Jones can't get it. Out the back, Davey. One behind. Just couldn't quite control it. And the Bombers take the lead by that one behind.
They look dangerous when the ball hits the ground inside 50, the Bombers. That's their best chance. Collins, who hurt his shoulder in a marking contest in that third quarter. He's okay. Constable wanted to draw the man on the mark to get it to Weller. First game back from that ACL. He's been okay, although that kick went a bit too far for King. And the mark taken by Zirk Thatcher. Good kick, Setterfield. Having a great game now. He's got Bombers out the back if he can get it over the top. One's Davey, the other one's Menzies! Took the mark on the second bite.
Yeah, that was your man, Zirk Thatcher. He's having a terrific game. He reads the ball so well across half-back, whether he's going back with courage or spoiling in the air. Then he was able to transition the ball into the middle of the ground to create this opportunity going forward.
He showed that he's quite strong in the air in his first 3 games.
Menzies shouldn't miss from here. Straight in front, he's got it. He gets his first. He's had a couple of goes at it tonight. And Essendon get the all-important first goal of the fourth quarter. 12-7-79. Gold Coast 10-12-72. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans tough on and off the field.
Love the decision of Will Setterfield. Once he got the ball there, that kick changing a lane, coming into the corridor, decided to turn straight away and face the game, saw that there was space to take, so he did that. That's the reason why those 2 Bombers players that were out the back of that Gold Coast zone came into the play by Setterfield, running at 10, kicking at the 50, would have been too far away if he had a stop propped, would have allowed the Gold Coast Suns to get back in numbers.
5 of the last 6 goals have gone to the Bombers, and they lead by 7 points. Early stages last quarter. Real tough Rossi Gishins when it comes to coordinating. Ask your plumber to install a ream. Bounce in the middle is a good one. Draper jumping high, but Witts won that one. Out of the centre go the Bombers. Bouncing ball. Eluded Caldwell. Opportunity now for the Bombers to go back inside. Guelphy, the kick is brilliant. And Lakeford's got it again.
Well, that kick had to be spot on, and it was. It was an absolute bullet. Tough kick to hit someone going at 100% speed into a pocket. If it gets spoiled, it's out of bounds, whereas sometimes it's better to put it in deep, but he's able to make it a precision kick, and here he lines up for his 5th.
70% set shot right across his career. He's kicked 4. This is for a personal best of 5 for Langford. They're right behind this, and he's just going to fade it wide. 2 for 1 behind. He can't believe it. He knows he's never kicked 5, and he's disappointed. 8-point lead to the Bombers. 80 plays 72.
Ball living up the Essendon half. 2-man. Timing forward half this quarter.
Yeah, 85%.
Can they get it down there in the Suns? Constable runs his 10 and kicks it as far as he can. But it's crumbed by Martin. It'll come back in short to Harry Jones. 55 out just inside the boundary. Langford wants it top of the square. Again, Harry loves just taking his time when he takes a mark outside 50. And now he just pulls a little 3-quarter kick really to nobody. Ben Long read it first. And then under pressure, dribbles it along the ground. Might work out. Holman, good tackle from Laverde. Keeping the ball in their front half, the Bombers. This is the new and improved Bombers. Their pressure game, they're locking it up. Anderson throws it on the boot. 1-on-1. Zirk Thatcher and King. Zirk Thatcher worked him under the footy again. Although a couple of Bombers had a fumble. Gave King time to get it to Ainsworth. He looks up. He sees a 1-on-1. It's Sexton and Kelly. They both go to ground. The umpire's going to let him play. And Kelly's first to get to his feet. And a good squaring kick, and they'll get out of trouble. Well done. Finds Redmond.
Great kick by Kelly. And back on the footy, Kelly and Sexton just shaping up. As that ball goes over the head and Ridley's got some space. He's got Guelphy on the fresh legs. Miller closes him down. Guelphy wants to get back off the mark. He does now. Handball over towards McGrath. Has a bounce. McGrath from centre wing to half forward. Looking for Langford. Marked everything that's come his way. Not this time. Ball rolled out of bounds. Stevie Johnson.
I think it'd be a really smart option for Essendon now to start to try and take some uncontested marks. Take the sting out of it a little bit. Make the Gold Coast Suns work defensively, because we know what's been happening in this game. Sides have been having their moments and coming back, and momentum's been everything.
Boundary throw in. Merritt was there. Constable picked it up. He was tackled to the ground. Shield. Rowell. Backwards to Anderson. Just puts it on the boot towards centre wing. Umpires picked out a free kick.
It's going to go the way of Joel Jeffrey. Not much up ahead, only Casbolt, so he goes in that direction, makes it hard for the big fella at his feet. He's done it well again, Casbolt, a couple of times. Clever pick up, although that handball had set up Ridley, who was nailed from Joel Jeffrey. And he had the ribs exposed, laid a strong tackle, but Ridley gets to his feet. Sucks in the big ones. Both teams make a lot of interchange. Ball throwing in right on centre wing. Bombers by 8 points. Been a good battle between Witts and Draper. Durham went hard. Good pressure from the Suns. Forced the turnover. Rowell done it nicely. Throws it on the boot. Wobbly ball inside 50. Zerk Thatcher again.
Could be in the votes.
He might be. He might have got in the votes last week, I think, almost in the Hawthorn-Essendon game. And he goes short and wide and finds Setterfield.
He's been brilliant this afternoon. His ability to come off at the right time, but also his decision when he has actually been out of position to spoil as well. Hasn't just tried to catch everything.
Phillips can't mark it. The big death metal lover got the ball out towards the middle of the ground. Opportunity opens up for the Bombers. D'Ambrosio, left foot inside forward 50. Langford's got it again. He's taken a flamethrower to the Suns in this second half. And D'Ambrosio, elite user.
We spoke a lot about his forward craft. Haven't seen a whole lot of him playing this deep bear in the square type forward. Just the timing of that lead there, D'Ambrosio screaming when he looked up for somebody to come at him, was good enough to lean on his direct opponent in Ballard, time his lead, get some separation, took a really nice catch.
He's just putting him on his shoulders here. Sixth mark inside 50, going for number 5 is Langford. Ball comes back, he's happy, and the Bombers are out by 14. Langford's got 5. 86 plays 72.
Yeah, well, their kicking inside 50 has really improved. We spoke about that at three-quarter time. They were just a little bit scrappy with the fundamentals of the game during that third quarter, and now we're starting to see them really hit their targets, and they're playing with a smaller forward line, so sometimes you've got to lower your eyes, and I think, playing on Ballard there, he's more of an intercept type defender, so he likes to sit back, read the play, and hopefully it's coming in slow. So when you get opportunity to lead at the footy, you've got to take it.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super make hard work pay off. True man, what's happening in this fourth quarter?
Well, Bombers dominating territory. The inside 50s in this quarter are 6-2 Essendon's way, but they've been very efficient. Joey, they've kicked 2 goals too.
And they lead by 14 points. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Witts and Miller, can they inspire their side to come back? They've got their work cut out. Lukosius had a fumble. Zachy Merritt's having a really good game. So's McGrath. Takes a couple of bounces. Burns off the other number 1 pick and Rowell, who never gave up the chase. Did really well. Just did enough. And then Ballard gets it to McPherson, who throws it on the boot. And if it stays in, Merritt will be first onto this ball. Rowell's working hard again. Good effort by Rowell. Handball from Merritt. Parrish tapped it into D'Ambrosio. Bombers look to have all the running in this fourth quarter. Caldwell with a nice pickup. Throws it on the boot. High ball. Jones got to sit under it. He's got Collins there with a fist.
That's a win there for Essendon. Anytime that they can get the ball in their front half, get a stoppage or control the ball, it's time off the clock where the Suns can't score.
Regardless of the result for the Gold Coast Suns, that clip there of Matty Rowell will be shown on Monday morning in the review. Absolutely brilliant. Never gave up on the chase. Good enough to affect the kick.
Spot on, Daisy. Durham tried to break the tackle. He did to Parrish inside forward 50, but the Suns will mark it. It's been pretty good, Collins. Switches play. He's got a player out there. Play on, called the umpire. Martin got there with time. Right foot. Poor kick though, McPherson. Quite an easy mark. And McPherson switches play.
Weller Long towards King. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills out the back. Gold Coast have got the outnumber. Jeffrey kicks it around the corner. Holman worked hard. I watched him for about 30 seconds get up the ground and then back, and then spears a bullet. Oh, battlers don't do that. I'll tell you what, that's a good kick. And it's marked by Alex Sexton, 40 metres out, tough angle.
Really nice connection from he and Holman there. Lived together for a period of time. Just looked up. Sexton just teed his man up, went back towards goal, then kicked around.
Came on the third quarter as a sub, already kicked one. Loves going around the corner. No Bomber was on the goal line. Zerk Thatcher's made a desperate attempt. It's going to be reviewed.
He took the ball across the goal line before being touched.
He's saying he's touched it.
No, score review saying it's a goal, Stevie J. They're just going to check if it's touched.
I'm saying the player's saying he touched it, but the thing is, he should have been there.
He would have marked it, Steve.
He would have marked it on the line.
Can we tell if that ball's been touched?
Well, it's called a goal.
Yeah, he's touched.
That's touched it. You can see a deflection.
But is it over the line, though?
No, the footy's not the whole way across the line. I think there's a piece of that football that's just inside.
Okay, will it be overturned? Quick.
I say no.
Will it be overturned?
Yes. Do we have 100 on that, Daisy? Or?
That roar tells it all. It was touched. Zerk Thatcher, my boy, got a fingernail on it, and that might be crucial.
He's in the votes now.
Gold Coast 10-13, 73. Essendon 13-8, 86, 13-point margin. Still plenty of time in this fourth quarter. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Gary Denner would have been out of his chair then. Kicking the ball back in as Redmond. He's looking for Phillips. Perkins will be the flyer. Can't mark it. Ground level. Long. Step through a tackle. Got it to Rao. Rao, once he's right, couldn't get it. Had to go back by hand. Weller. Sweeping handball to the battler. Forward handball. Almost run down Anderson. Really good tackle. Bombers with an opportunity now. Dylan Seal on the left. He's got Jones on centre wing, and Jones, as he likes to do, he'll take his time.
Slow it down, take some uncontested marks. The game will be beyond doubt if they can do that for 3 or 4 minutes.
McGrath. Inside forward 50. Phillips will get back and mark it. Oh, he dropped it. I can't believe he dropped it. And they push him. And they ask the question as he goes back, and I'll be kind, he might have got the lights in his eyes.
They're being very generous there, Brownie. That was a good build-up by the Bombers, but they've got it where they want it, down their end. Noah Anderson's quick kick finds Tuke Miller. Good kick, good advantage of Lukosius, who's got a few metres separation on Martin, but he's got nothing up ahead. He's demanding Joel Jeffrey do something, but he's in between two Bombers. Kick goes in that direction. Jeffrey couldn't do it. The two Bombers went out, and they square it up to Big Drapes. That half-back, he sees Langford, who's put on a clinic in this second half. He's ripped the game open for the Bombers with 5. Now they are going to play with a bit of tempo. This is what Stevie J wanted. Caldwell was tempted to give it to Merritt.
Well, the Suns have got numbers back, so take the ball off the line, move the ball across the other side of the ground, take a minute off the clock.
And that's good, Stevie. That's exactly what the runner just told Stanton, the runner, I should say, told Merritt, just to take a bit of time off the clock, kick it long down the line. Brent Stanton, the former Bomber, and that's what he told Merritt. It goes out of bounds, 50 metres out. They lead by 13 points. 9:46 left on the clock. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Stance. Boundary throw in, Witts. Merritt from the restart inside forward 50, and Collins has been great today. Played on Jones a fair bit of this game. He takes a mark. So they still need to kick 3 goals here. The Suns. Short ball and finds Flanders in the back on the back flank. 13-point lead in favour of the Bombers at the moment. Hollins still at half-back.
Will become a point where the time on the clock indicates the Suns' ball movement. They're going to have to start to play some bold footy. 9 minutes left. Still probably not the time, but expect it coming shortly.
Hollins to half forward. Zerk Thatcher, been brilliant. Stepped in, sold some candy into the middle of the ground. Here goes Archie Perkins, went back with purpose and courage, and then rolled off to the top of the square. Mark this one, Big Phillips. He can't. It goes to the bottom of the pack. Don't tell me Langford's going to do it again. He misses. 14-point lead, Robbo, Bob Jane team up.
Yeah, Sam Draper been on and off the ground. You can see him picking up wits now. They've been working on this left ankle. They've had to strap it about 2 or 3 times. Just milling around centre half back, Brownie.
Looks like a lot of tired boys down there, Robbo, particularly for the Bombers on the bench.
Yeah, a lot of rotations. They're just going to just breast the tape and get over the line, I reckon, Joey.
8:30 left on the clock. Bombers by 14 points. Scores will level at three-quarter time. Here's young Hewland. Long kick towards Witts. Jeffrey this time didn't fly, did the crumb. Really nicely got it to King, who stands tall. He needed every bit of the 6'6" frame of Ben King to take that mark and pull it down. And he's going to go back from 25 out straight in front.
It was a really nice kick in the end. It just held a little bit in the air. King good enough to stop prop off 2 legs, elevate himself, take a nice clunk.
What's he done today, Chew, Ben King? 1 goal, 1?
Yeah, 1 goal, 1. 1 straight, actually. 11 disposals, 2 marks.
Needs this. He's got it. Important goal for the Suns. They get back within 8 points. They're 11-13-79. They're not going away. Essendon 13-9-87. 7 minutes 43 left on the clock. Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans built tough on and off the field.
Yeah, if I'm Brad Scott in this situation, this is where you start to consider, do I put a seventh man behind the ball? I mean, that may have impacted there. They may have stopped that Ben King mark. But you put them back there, they can't then play with a really, really fast game style. They can't bang away and get contests ahead of the footy, which they may get ground balls and kick goals. They may have to then slow their ball movement around and work the ball around Essendon, which takes time off the clock as well.
Good finish to this one. Stay with us. Straight after this, we'll be crossing Optus Stadium for the big game to finish off round 2. West Coast Eagles, GWS Giants.
For McDonald's Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Rail out of the middle, get a free kick, got too high. And Witts drags Draper off. Draper brings him down. Shield comes in. Jono's band. And they quickly play on to Miller. Miller handball. Over the top to Long. Really good tackling by the Bombers, just keeping them at bay at the moment. Miller inside forward 50. Casbolt will be there. King will be there. Casbolt can't mark it. Casbolt went back, tried to claim it. The umpire saying play on, play on. Casbolt still trying to claim it. Zirk Thatcher hurt back behind the footy.
He's down there, Zirk Thatcher. Casbolt coming through there. Fair claims like on the mark. He's in a world of hurt here.
Need time? Hold the ball.
He just rolled the ankle out on the outside. They need him back out there. A little bit of jungle juice. He might be okay, but he's been carried off. Looks in some pain. Now starting to put some weight on that foot.
What's he done today, Chew? Zirk Thatcher, what do his numbers look like?
He's had 11 disposals, 80% by foot, throwing 5 intercepts as well.
He's had a pretty good game on Ben King. So ball up inside 50 for the Suns. They're pressing here. They trail by 8 points. Quick kick out of the stoppage from Parrish. Harry Jones goes down. Free kick against Charlie Ballard. Been a bit sloppy today, Ballard. Robbo, Bob Jane team up.
Yeah, Thatcher straight into the room's right ankle, I'd say, on the outside, the lateral side. Couldn't put any body weight on it. That's the end of his afternoon, I reckon.
Jones to half forward. Phillips with a big climb. Caldwell the spot. Send him back inside forward 50. Bouncing ball, Martin. He's very good around goal. So too is this man, Guelphy. Runs in and kicks it for the Bombers. So it's back to 14 points. 93 plays 79. Guelphy gets his first.
Just trying to look down now to the Bombers bench, Stevie, see if they hold a sign up. See if there's anything. They'll obviously have the modes of which they can go to, the options of which you train and practice for these sorts of scenarios. 6 minutes 30 on the clock. Still probably too much game time to start worrying about sending an extra behind. But you would imagine a bit more controlled ball movement. Still taking the ball forward with every opportunity you can for the Gold Coast Suns. Well, they're going to have to be bold if they're going to get it back into this one from here.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Daisy and Stevie J in the back row. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. 14 points. Is that still the equal game high lead, Chew?
Equal game high.
Righto, Gold Coast have got 6.5 minutes. They're going to take some risks now. How do the Bombers play?
Gold Coast warning for starting positions. Throw the ball up.
666 warning.
That was your man,
Gold Coast.
The battler on a bit late, Holman.
Here we go. From McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Witts, Miller. Down low. And as far as Parrish, they've been good again. The mids, Parrish and Merritt. Merritt's had a nice game. Goes wide this time. Smart kick. Didn't need to be reckless.
Run on,
to mark.
Tested.
Yours.
Now Setterfield drives it long. There's a big pack of players in this contest. Draper was in there. Collins got the fist up. And Essendon lock it in. They'll be really happy with this. 6:12 on the clock.
Yeah, Merritt. City's average against the Suns. He's racked up 30. Bombers pressure, though, in this quarter. Remember, they were ranked 18th last year. They're going at 203 in this term.
If they can get a goal here, the Bombers, it's almost shut the gate for the Suns. Miller received the handball backwards, cleared the area up, and then found the boundary.
Langford's the man that they have pushed out behind the ball at that stoppage. Interesting to see where he resets here, whether that was just because Draper went down to take the ruck. Seems to be the case.
So still at half full for the Bombers, the boundary throw in. Witts tapped it out the back, only as far as Shield. His handball cleared the pack, and he got it to Parrish. Parrish, a high up and under ball. It enters the arc. Ballard, his handball was slapped down. Long tracked the ball. So tooted Rowell. Opportunity now for the Bombers. The ball goes long from Menzie, and he gets the goal. And just about the win for the Bombers, his second. 99 plays 79. 5.5 to go.
Well, it's been professional here from the Bombers in the last 5 minutes. That centre clearance that Merritt got, he looked up. There was no clear option, so he had the option out to go laterally to the wing, which is a nice option. Go there, take it slow. From there, you can at least get the ball to one side of the ground, set up and defend it. Timing forward half again in this last quarter. They've been brilliant, the Bombers. They're locking it in, and on the back of repeat entries, their smalls have got to work and hitting the scoreboard.
Stevie, take a look at the Harvey Norman replay. That's a natural forwards goal, isn't it, to pick that up and then off one step?
Yeah, that takes a lot of craft, a lot of practice to be able to pick it up on a spot, half a second, no time and space, and finish like he did.
Harvey Norman, huge run-out deals on the LG 2022 TVs. On now at Harvey Norman, only while stocks last. Clever finish. Menzie's got 2 in the fourth quarter, and it's a game-high 20 points. Going to be hard to lose it from here, the Bombers. They win another centre clearance. Setterfield to Merritt. Merritt can put the icing on the cake from 45. Just misses. They notch up the ton. 15-10, 100. Gold Coast 11-13, 79. Time's an issue now. 5 minutes, 20 left. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Lukosius straight up the middle. Almost makes it to the circle. Fisted back by Draper, though. It was a big smack back. With the ball through Anderson at centre half back. That's a nice one to Ash's man. In the middle is Holman. He's got a runner on the outside. Ainsworth. He's got another runner, 2 on the outside. They're going to go inside forward 50. They need a mark. Casbolt can't do it for him. Ball spills free. It's a foot race. They get there first, the Suns. Rose's left foot screws it back, but the Bombers were back there in numbers, and Ridley takes an easy mark, chips it to Laverty.
Now they just need to control the time. Short to D'Ambrosio. 4:37 left on the clock. 21-point lead of the Bombers. It's been a 4-1 fourth quarter. Scores will level at three-quarter time. All the big guns have had an impact. Merritt, Parrish. Menzie's bobbed up. Langford's been the star with 5. Draper, he's had a good contest. He's paid the mark. Big contested mark on the wing in front of Witts.
Worked hard all day, has Sammy Draper. He was the one who got back inside. Defensive 50 there, was good enough to put a tackle on Matty Rao. Working well all around the ground, the big fella.
Happy to go long down the line. Harry Jones in this contest. Collins comes off his man, gets the fist in. Miller's not going to quit. Handball wasn't great for Anderson. Rao's going to keep working as well. Can he find a mark? Clever little kick on the left to Casbolt. 55 out. Wheels. Ben King's got 3 to beat. Can he get in position? Essendon get back in numbers again. They've done it all day pretty much. Redmond got the fist in, and they're happy to see that. Out of bounds next to the right-hand point post. 3:48 left on the clock. Bombers by 21 points. True man.
Darcy Parish, 13 clearances last week, which was a PB. He's racked up 11 today, along with his 30 disposals.
Robbo.
32,915. Don't forget the record between these two mobs was just under 34. So big crowd and crutches into the room for Zerk Thatcher.
Boundary throw in. They cleared the area through Draper, but only as far as Ballard. Hands it off to Constable, and his kick is ill-directed and only finds Martin. So Martin has got some runners. What have the Bombers got left? Poor kick by Martin. Overcooked it. Lukosius back inside forward 50. Got out the back again, and the Bombers have got the numbers again. And they get it through for a rush behind, and the umpire's going to pick out a free kick. Durham. That was a bit Kyabram of him. Ashes man. And Durham will get a free kick.
Just need to keep their composure here, Bombers. They've done a really good job to get this lead. That last kick trying to plug one through the corridor. Not the time in the match to be doing that.
They look pretty safe behind the ball, though. They've got numbers. Or kicks like that aren't going to help. Picked off by Casbolt. Handballs to Weller. He can kick it from here. 52 metres out. Lets it fly. Just hooked it a bit too much. 80 to 100. 20 points, but only 2 minutes 46 to go. Bombers, two-man, if they win live ladder, will they be on top?
Triple M, Red Z, Joey, as we have a look at the live ladder right now, they will be fourth on the ladder. 2 wins, 2 zip though.
So Wits, as Joey can't believe the fact that they've dropped the fourth. Laverde off the side of the boot. Bouncing ball, it's going to stay in. And Menzie has been good. Paddle it 30 metres. And the Essendon fans loved it.
Couple of big wins. Sydney, obviously, Sydney's win.
And the Maggies as well, loaded up on some percentage. Even the Saints keeping the Bulldogs to a low score. Their percentage is at 171. They're sitting second. So Sydney, St Kilda, Collingwood, the Bombers, and North all undefeated.
2 minutes 20 to go. Here goes Settlefield. Very, very good today. High ball. Suns get back, but they drop the mark. The Bombers hunt them. The Bombers really hunt them. Davey. Ball spills out. Umpire thought he was going to pay the holding the ball. And then a rush behind.
Pressure rating this fourth quarter too, the Bombers.
Yeah, very good there. 190 at one stage, 206. Suns only at 147 in this term.
They've outworked them. Their defence and their pressure's been awesome. This is the improvement that all the Bombers fans wanted to see. The talent's there. Now they're combining it with a bit of effort and system as Laverde. That typifies the effort today. Lunging fist on Levi Casbolt. Gets the ball out of bounds. Keeps it in the front half. As Levi Casbolt has a couple of words to a bit of a peanut down there, Essendon supporter. Ball thrown in. Wits. Guelphy the sub. Setterfield's had a very nice game. He's 55 out, so he just kicks it high into the pocket. Jones sits under it. Through for another behind. 15-12, 102. Gold Coast 11-14, 80. It's going to be a great win for the Bombers. Been an arm wrestle most of the day. Only a minute 20 to go.
The kick out got the long. He was able to run and bounce out of half back and then kick a mongrel ball. Sexton was good enough to get back and get it on centre wing. Holman, he was tackled. McGrath was good. D'Ambrosio going at 92% by foot. That's another nice kick. And the diving Durham. Half forward, 2 kicks from home. He look up. He's not in any hurry. He's got Harrison Jones forward. The big heavy metal man, Phillips, getting back. Short ball finds Shield. So the Bombers just happy to take some time off the clock. We're inside the last minute. And now they're going to rack him up behind the footy. McGrath. Backward of centre wing. He'll go long looking for the lead of Phillips. Good kick. Phillips couldn't quite mark it. Dropped the fuel in this last quarter, Phillips. Opportunity for the Suns. Shield went back. Redmond happy to get it over the boundary line, and Constable got him over. Boundary throw in.
23 seconds left. Bombers will be 2 and zip. Of course, the Triple MVP award for New Holland, who's doing the votes. Daisy. End of financial year. Track the sale on now. Visit your New Holland dealership. That'll be an interesting one. I'm tipping Kyle Langford will be in there. Shield gets some territory. Then goes and gets his own ball. No, it's Caldwell. In fact, this could be it. Guelphy could finish it off. Around the body. The Bombers are big winners on Sunday afternoon footy at Marvel. 16-12, 108. Guelphy's got a couple in the fourth. Gold Coast 11-14, 80. And under new coach Brad Scott, they'll be 2 and zip, and it sets up for a cracking contest on Saturday night. They're third on the live ladder now, Two Man. They're third. They're creeping their way up.
Spot on, Joey.
Next Saturday night, St Kilda v Essendon at the MCG. What a game that'll be. The two new coaches. It's been a strong performance, boys, from the Bombers.
It's been impressive the way they've been able to turn it around. They just, we talk about the momentum changes in this game, and when they were challenged late in the game, they've been able to keep that physical pressure on the game, the defensive side of the game, and score on the back of that very strongly.
So just winding down to a big win for the Bombers, who kicked 9 of the last 11 goals to win by 28 points after going 14 down in the third term. And the Bombers are up.
Our boys who play this scramble game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up. The other teams, they don't fear. They'll try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
This is the Triple M Amy review, who covers clangers on and off the field. Amy does. Quick word, Stevie, what do you think?
Yeah, very impressed by the Bombers. I thought the Suns had a real crack today. Their pressure was elite, but the Bombers just too good in the end.
Daisy MVP awards, 3, 2 and 1.
Yeah, 1 vote to Zirk Thatcher. I thought his job on Ben King was outstanding. 2 votes to Darcy Parish. 30 disposals, 14 of those contested. 11 clearances, chuck in 575 metres gained just for good measure. Well done, Darcy. And 3 votes to Kyle Langford, 5 goals.
Choice Hotels around the grounds. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed. So when you book direct at choicehotels.com, go ahead, book it. We're going straight to Optus Stadium after this. West Coast Eagles, GWS. Two-man, quick word. Anything stand out?
Bombers pressure 185 to 167. They were ranked 18th in that stat last year.
Very, very good performance by the Bombers. McDonald's, head to Macca's for your 10 chicken McBites for just $3. Stevie J's going to head there on the way home now on the drive back up to the Hume Highway. What a great game. The Bombers win this one by 28 points. They're 2-0. Get around them. Go the Bombers. For McDonald's and Ring Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.